Welcome, 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 friends. OG Merpe here with you. We are getting ready to run some D&D. This all takes place in my homebrew world. It's a mishmash of D&D 5e and Pathfinder rule sets, so we'll reference Pathfinder quite a bit because those are the free books that are easy to distribute online. But we do have some D&D 5e elements that we've integrated as well. The long and the short of it is that our players are in the middle of a job that they were more or less forced into because of some of their own consequences to seek a goblin artifact. They've killed the goblins, they found this artifact, and they are reveling in their victory. Two of the four of them are lying unconscious, stable but unconscious on the ground. And so we're going to get to it. We'll have the players introduce themselves. We'll have them to give you a recap, see what all they remember, and then we'll just get right into it. So let's do some stuff. All right, I'm live. Who's doing recap?
Andreas.
That would be me.
Yeah, Andreas. Let's hear it. You never do the recap.
Let's see. So we started off in the weapons in like their kind of armory area in the cave.
Yeah, up here.
Oh, there was a few goblins. Titus took care of some of them, and I think Mary and Miss took care of a couple other ones from the back sneaking around. And then we ended up continuing on. I think some of them got away, and we ended up splitting up. Me and Tim and Titus kind of went through a veiled stone door, and they ended up coming out the back of a throne room and a bunch of gold. And then and Mary basically went around the other way, and they found the front of the room. We basically loaded up on gold there, and then we heard chanting, which we kind of followed down deeper into the cave, and we basically came across some kind of ritual happening. There was a big ass goblin there, which we later found out is Bogan Redcap, and the shaman was basically killing, sacrificing goblins, people, who knows, to make them bigger. Battle ensued. Tim got knocked down. Titus had a little dizzy spell. He drank a little too much, and then Mary and Art were like, I think they basically holding their own
magic bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary and Art basically were the last two. I still can't believe, Titus, that role, that you were down for that many rounds. And
yeah,
we lived.
it was an effect that lasts for 1 minute, and I want to say that you failed like 5 consecutive rounds. So like on the 30-second mark, you popped up. But like that's ridiculous. 6 rounds to make it, and it wasn't like a crazy high save. It was like 14 or something. You know, like it was just 7, 7,
rolled like
7,
11s and lower.
Yeah.
You know, Art was like one round away from one failed heal save away from death, but we all made it through alive. I think Tim's still unconscious.
Tim and Art both are unconscious right now.
Okay, and that's where we're ending here. We're starting off here as basically Tim and Art are unconscious, and Mary and Titus are basically, have just lobbed off the heads of the last goblins.
You forgot the important detail.
It's not an important detail.
It's okay. Somebody else can add it. Add it yourself. That was a good recap.
No, do you know what it is? Add it.
The Bogan's head got lobbed off, and we found out that it was him because he had his tiny little red hat on him, and it looked like a little yarmulke situation.
Because he was so huge.
Yes.
And on that note, between both halves of his bisected body was like an amulet of sorts, which Mary quickly snatched up and threw in her purse. For mechanical reasons, I'm going to review what everyone took out of the throne room. Titus and Art both filled their bags to capacity. Every square inch that was not filled by gear is now filled by coinage from the room, and as such, they're taking a pretty significant dex penalty. I went back and watched the tape. Tim had talked about filling up 2 or 3 bags. So, not quite to the same extent of bogging himself down. It sounded like he was trying to stay, within that medium encumbrance threshold. But I want to verify with you, his player, Andreas, How
Yep.
much? How much did Tim grab? What was his intention?
Yeah, it was 2 to 3 coin bags worth, like just stuffing those to the brim. But
And we're talking, fits in the palm of your hand coin bag.
oh, I was thinking, I'm some sort of like what's the little like athletic bags, maybe like an athletic bag or two fulls of coin.
Like a duffel bag.
A duffel bag. Well, okay, because I mean, you're the bag you're carrying all of these bags in is just is like a large knapsack backpack style bag. Like that's like the volume that your encumbrance is based off of. So if you've got like a whole
Okay.
ass duffel worth of gold, then you're effectively doing the same thing the other guys are doing and filling every square inch with gold. So
What
Well,
about
because I know Tim has he has that one like the blood coins and stuff, which was like, let's see how many he has now. It's somewhere like 65 or 150 somewhere. 73. Okay.
uh-huh.
And I'm assuming like 100 coins is something that would fit in one of those coin purses.
Yeah, I think a coin purse holds I think it's 120 coins comfortably. Something like
Yeah,
that.
two of those, so like just 240 coins of whatever gold, silver, and copper.
Right, mixed. Cool. Sounds great. Then you would still definitely be within your normal encumbrance. I just did like an inordinate amount of research on like how many coins fit in a bag. Like what's like I looked at like volume and like weight and I spent so much fucking time like looking into this because I know you guys haven't actually counted any of that shit yet and added it to your inventory. So I wanted to make sure to get it right. So I'm just, verifying things with people as we go through. And then Mary, you filled one small sack with gemstones specifically, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay. Awesome. Then I think that is a pretty darn excellent recap. Does anybody else have anything to add?
Titus filled every nook and cranny with gold.
I know he did. I got you, buddy. I think you'll be very. Depending on what you roll, I think you'll be very satisfied with the way that I decided to go about this.
I kind of. How much, like, with the gold we left behind, how much did we technically take if we were like, this is a mound? Did we take, like, half of it?
No.
I mean, you guys took
Like a quarter?
half of one side.
There's more.
And so you guys, and that was, in real time, you guys were in the throne room scooping gold into your bags like 15 minutes ago, right? Like not very long. But let's do character intros real quick, and then I will set the scene for you, and we will get started. So let's go in reverse Discord order, which means Andreas is up first.
All right. I am currently playing Tim. He is a human alchemist that is currently knocked out. He tries to do the right thing, and he fails sometimes because of bad rolls or bad stats.
Or both.
Or both.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying there.
Cool. Jennifer, talk about Mary.
Okay, Mary is a gnome granny rogue. And she tired of the bullshit. She wants to get that goddamn horse back, and that's about it.
And Jeremy, let's hear about Titus.
Titus is a half-orc fighter who is just looking for money and blood, baby.
Money and blood, baby. Sick. And then I am playing Art, who is a player character previously played by our buddy Daniel. Rest in peace. His work schedule does not allow him to join us. And so I will not be doing much role playing, at least at the beginning of this session, because he's fucking unconscious, laying on the ground, alongside his buddy Tim. They are both just in a healing coma, and without any kind of magical assistance, it will take them a few hours to come to. Which leaves Mary and Titus having just high-fived. Titus has walked over, pulled his axe out of the stone wall that the shaman's head was pierced through, and the shaman is slumped to the ground, and walked over to the shaman to begin the process of like picking through the shaman's pockets. Mary has like leaned over and snatched up the amulet off of the corpse, I guess, the two halves of a corpse of Big Daddy. You two are the only conscious players. The last thing that Jeremy said was, I want to loot the shaman, and I said, hold on, I want to put together some good loot tables for you guys so that I can do that for you. So is that still the first thing you want to do, Jeremy?
Yes.
Roll me that charisma, baby. And Mary, what are you doing?
Talk to Titus while he's looting.
Yeah, talking's always free, so you can chit-chat.
She's just gonna like straight up say like, we think I would make this quick because Caloral might be making a visit. I'm not sure how that works with Tim being unconscious around dead bodies, but probably let's take Big Daddy's head at this point.
Just a regular charisma.
Regular charisma.
Regular charisma.
I wish there was a skill that was like treasure, that was like treasure seeking, that was like, pocket.
Or just looting.
I guess like investigate or something, but
right, there isn't an investigate. Perception's just using your general senses.
Right.
The only thing I could think of would be sleight of hand, but that's more of like trying to not get caught.
Yeah, I like the idea of putting it into one of the knowledges, because I mean,
I was thinking survival.
Survival could work. Tell you what, from this point on, why don't we make loot checks, survival checks, or charisma checks, whichever you have a higher stat in.
Okay.
So that's a 12.
That's a big O 12. Okay, so on a 12, my friend, I need to pull up all of the things that I have here. I have a Google Doc that's called Loot. Let me see here. Okay. You find on this shaman a magic wand that if you spend time with, you may determine what it is used for. You find a shiny, it's like onyx, it's like a dark stone, and it's probably like 2-3 inches in diameter, and it has something etched in goblin on it. And then you also find like 7 gold worth of just like loose monies on the shaman. And that is what is there.
Oakley dokley.
Oakley dokley. So you guys are standing in a literal pool of blood, probably about 3 inches up off the ground. But as Titus walks over to the shaman to begin looting it, Mary, you said you wanted to say something to him?
Yeah, basically, the whole warning of Caloral might make an appearance. Not sure how that's going to work with Tim being unconscious, but, she already has Big Daddy's hat and the amulet, but we should probably take his head as, like, proof.
Bruh, I've had his head, like, clipped to my belt the
but I
want to
confirm.
Yes, you see the head hanging
from
Titus's belt.
That was the bigger thing.
And because it's hanging from my belt, I have his hat.
No, Mary took it off the last game.
The hat did fall off of his head. I said it drifted, gently off and landed on the body and had kind of like a little cutscene moment where I described that he was in fact Bogan Redcap, but actually nobody specifically mentioned picking up the cap. Mary just picked up the necklace. I double checked the tape. I watched it. So
right. I just figured because I took both halves of his head that I also would have taken the hat.
Can I take the hat?
I'm going to give rights to Titus because he made the kill, but you're more than welcome to ask Titus for the hat.
Yeah.
Can I have the hat?
Titus puts the hat on.
And it is comically small on Titus. Not as small as it was on Big Daddy, but it's definitely like a 3 sizes too small type situation, just like sitting on the very crown of his head.
Please.
My trophy.
Please. It fits my head.
So? What do you want the hat for so bad?
Reasons.
Give me a better reason. I'll think about it.
To get my wedding band back?
How the fuck does this hat get your wedding band back?
Because we have the one guy who has our one friend, and we have to get the evidence and stuff that we wiped them out. And he has my friend in the wedding band back in the village.
I'm literally going with you.
I know, but I just want the hat.
No, I'm taking the hat. Mine.
Can you at least put it in your pocket?
But I want to wear it. It's pretty.
I know, but like it's gonna get knocked off, and then if we lose the hat.
Space
damn
and
it!
time begins to tear apart as the crackle of electricity fills this space.
I put the hat in my pocket.
Okay, thank you. This was the big thing. I didn't want that hat to get lost.
Let him still Tim. Let him. He's still alive.
And so I don't have a figure for him. So let me. I think I have something big and mean. I think in here maybe.
Wait, Dave. I got this.
You got
I fucking
this?
got
You
this.
got
Is it the cow?
Oh my god.
If it's too silly, I'm gonna just trash it and put a generic token in its place, just so
But
you know.
but look at him.
Just so you're prepared. That
He's
it's too cute.
he's
to be
such a
Powerall. That's too cute.
he's
to be
such a
Powerall.
friend.
Nah, it's too cute to be that bro.
He's such a friend. Okay, what about this one?
How is there not a skull? There we go. He's literally wearing a skull mask, so he's gonna be.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna be. Although that's not bad, you know. If he was draconic, that'd be the sickest.
There's this one, the hat.
The ooze.
This literally looks like his hat.
Oh, wait.
Wonk.
The skeleton one
There
that
he
looks
is.
like a little. Oh wait, put the hat on
Too
it.
small.
Oh
Too
yeah,
small.
do it as a mount. Do it as a mount.
Oh
Whoa.
yeah. How do you do the mount thing? I forgot.
You click on my token and then make me a hat. it'll say it's like one of the ones on the left or right or something.
Hide token.
Click on it. It'll be like a horse token.
Character. It just says character. Oh, mount. There we go. I see. And
Yeah.
you can bloop.
Yeah, and then moving this will move it.
Moving that will move.
Yeah, you make the you make this thing.
Considering it's out of generic tokens, it actually
You
gives
make
the
this one
Colorado vibe.
This one become this one.
I don't know, man. It's
you make this one.
I did. I made it a mount. It's got the little horse token on it and everything, but the hat's not.
Okay.
The hat's not like moving with it.
Dude.
There, oh wait, maybe that was it. There it is. Now it's. But it won't.
Yeah.
But I want it on its head. It's not. It won't sit on.
Wait, hold on.
Close enough.
Anyway,
There we
it's
go.
fine. It's fine. We're getting into some nitty-gritty shit here. I don't want to ruin the drama of this moment. So the blue and purple, electricity of the portal, Caloral's floating silhouette with his dark robes, his awkward pointed hat, and his dirty orange skull mask. He appears in front of you guys with all of his, crazy ass goblins, and he looks and he sees Tim and Art laying on the ground unconscious, and says, a pity.
They're alive.
So I'm aware. And he casts a spell on Art's unconscious body, Tim's unconscious body.
Have I seen this guy before?
Yeah,
you haven't actually seen him, but you've heard his voice. You haven't
is this
seen
when I was
him.
hiding in the goblin?
Yeah, this is when you were hiding in the shed, and you turned around to look, and then this other goblin caught your eye, and you almost got found out, kind of thing. But it was a close call. Right. But you've heard this voice before. You know this is, and you talked with your party about this, and they were like, yeah, about that, and kind of got into it, but not super.
Yeah, blood pact, right?
Yeah. And so he then casts a second spell on Tim's body, granting him enough extra temporary hit points to bring him back, as dark necrotic energy surrounds both Caloral and now Tim, who is awake. And the first thing that he recognizes is a feeling of being tied to a chair. Like everything's really rigid. It's not like the bone, curse thing where he broke his arm trying to throw a bomb. You know, it's not like that, but everything's extremely tight.
Toy's like a toiga.
But congratulations, Tim, you're awake.
Can Tim like move around? Or, like he's like trying to like shimmy. Can he like move, or is he?
Yeah, he can move if he wants to.
Okay. He's like I guess like feeling his hands because he was pretty. He got hit hard.
Yeah, for sure. He recognizes that he's standing, but he can feel this energy coursing through his body that is clearly not his own, feels super unnatural, and he just like immediately like looks up, sees Caloral, and Caloral's hand holding out, directed towards him, and it's like an ethereal thread that only Tim can see coming out from the fingertips of Caloral, and he can like see them like attaching at his like torso and arms and stuff.
Yeah, Tim's just gonna like look at Caloran and look down. It's like, yeah, that'll do it. And I guess he's gonna look back up at Caloran. It's like come to collect the usual, I suppose.
And he says, "No, thank you for bringing you back."
You know what? And Tim's gonna say, you know what? You're how rude of me. Thank you.
And Caloral, with his other hand, procures just a fat like stack of gold, just like a swirling vortex of gold, 3 dozen or more.
I mean,
3 dozen or more bags of gold?
Not bags, individual gold coins. Caloral has this tendency to kind of like you'd imagine like a banker like rolling coins like between his finger, like what a mage would do with like a magical energy to just like do that in midair, just like coins like swirling around and just like
the red blood coin.
It's just for show, but every single one of them is blood red of these coins. And Tim, did you actually end up standing
up? Wait, what?
Did you end up standing up?
Yeah. Okay. Tim is just like, thank you for bringing it back. It's like no strings attached, and like looking down at the tendril things like that are coming right there at him.
He says, "When I leave, you will fall unconscious again. But I had to give you the opportunity to get paid." And the coins just like move another foot closer to you. But Caloral himself is not moving. His goblin standing stock still behind him.
Titus goes towards the coins to try to grab them.
Tim is going to keep them from. I was like, nope, that is not. You don't want to do that.
Titus, you are much stronger than Tim. Do you? Would you stop when he starts to hold you back?
Based on this fucking weirdo's presence, I think that he will actually listen to Tim in this instance.
Cool. Oh, thank God.
Cool. Tim, what are you doing?
He's gonna like look at Titus and he's gonna like look back over to Kalar and like get the coin thing for that he's had all the blood coins and so forth.
Okay, and they float over to you, and you hold your bag open presumably for them, or your hand out.
Yeah.
Or,
bag open. He can't hold 36 coins on his own.
And they they all line up into like a floating stack and drop all at once into your bag. Clink, and you feel it get, significantly heavier. And as soon as the coins make contact with the bag, pew, all these goblins just fucking scatter and they set to work and they start picking up goblins, going through. You see a bunch of them like run up the stairs behind you guys and start like. You can hear their footsteps like receding and like running all over this place. The secret door that a couple of the goblins entered through back here is open, and you see, like in a flash, just like the flash, like 2, 3, 4 goblins just like running past the corridor on the other side as they just like fucking run through this place.
Witches are everywhere. Cockroaches.
Mary, anything you would like to do in this time while these interactions are going on?
In the meantime, could she like make a perception check for any more like anything we could take to the guild in this room? Uh, not Gargamel. What's his name? Hagergash kind of artifact.
I will save you the roll. There is nothing in this room except for corpses, blood, the
Okay.
like indentations of where the summoning circle and this strange chanting, whatever language is carved into the ground here.
Okay.
But Caloral does see you glancing around. He like kind of turns over his shoulder and sees the summoning circle, like looks down at the letters that he's floating above, and says, "Oh, they were busy here, weren't they?" And he glances over and sees Big Daddy and says, "Huh, quite busy. Shame you didn't keep this one intact. I would have had quite a bit of fun with him." But
Sorry about that. Speaking
I'm
of
not. I had
busy,
fun with him.
yeah. Speaking of busy, do you know exactly what this summoning circle was about?
he says, "I'm assuming it's worship the goblin rabble pursues with their lesser gods."
The worship the god rabble rouser.
He says, "But
Rabble, rabble.
he says that is a good point." And he, calls, and there's still a number of goblins standing around him. And he turns to the goblins and he says in Goblin to them, I claim, and it's a Goblin word. Doesn't have a direct translation. It basically means like treasure rights, like looting rights to this room. Uh, and he, says, "Let it be known." And a bunch of the goblins scatter out, and a few of them who had started the process of looting this stuff are like pulling everything out of their own pockets and putting them literally at Caloral's feet. And most of it's like the shit you'd expect to find on goblins. Um, you know, for example, there's like little bone earrings and like different stretches of rope and like dirty water skins and like fish heads, and there's a little bit of gold and silver there. As you guys eyeball it, it's probably 10 12 gold worth of loose coin, and Caloral barely glances down at it and says, "Nothing of interest here. Did you all find anything of interest here before we arrived? And I would warn you
Found a
against
hat.
against lying to me."
I
Mary's just
found
gonna say we got a hat because that's all she knows about.
That's not true.
Oh shit! No, I did. Oh, oopsie. Takesy backsies. I forgot.
I got a
I,
trophy and a gesture
we got
towards the
some
two
stuff.
halves of the head.
We got some stuff from the Big Daddy, but we are required due to blood contracts to take it back, and if not, Tim will die. So, you know,
Don't want to lose your best body maker.
I believe that would be
if we
me.
leave this cave without it, Tim is most likely dying.
And I believe that would be me in reference to Bottlenmaker. Caloral says, "Indeed." And he looks down and in that reference to your comment, Jeremy or Titus, he says, "Even a necromancer of my skill can't do anything with a head cleaved in two." He says, "That much is yours. You've earned it." Uh, and Caloral turns to Mary and says, "I merely want to examine whatever it is that you found." And he holds his
Can
hand
I
up and says, "What's that?"
do a sense motive check to see if he's like lying or if he's just gonna take it at the moment?
Yeah, that's a good use of sense motive check.
Okay.
Anybody else doing
'Cause
anything in this interaction?
At Cal's insistence on like Mary giving him a thing that we may have found, I'm just gonna look at Mary and say, I want to try to give like a knowing look while saying, "No, I'm not giving him my hat."
Even the hat. I just said we found a hat because I forgot that we had the amulet. 25.
25. Caloral is wearing a mask. You can't see his face. And every time you interact with him, you have been very afraid. So keep that in mind. That'll always color your experience here.
We're basically going off body language and tone of voice with an evil necromancer.
So far, Calorel has not lied to you. At any point in time, he has been only honest with you guys. He seems like a pretty powerful dude, and there's not a lot of reason for him to lie to you guys. So,
Okay.
you know, but you're like, but the other edge of that coin is back of Mary's mind. Like, absolutely, he's powerful enough to look at it, find it interesting, and say, "I'm keeping this now," and that's, you know, and like, what's Mary gonna do about that kind of thing? Like, right now, it's in her pocket, but you know, she does know that there's a chance that that'll happen.
Then again, he could zap her if she doesn't, and then just take. Yeah, okay. Mary's gonna take her little toddler hand and, kind of like hold on to tightly and just kind of like show it.
And Calorol looks to Tim and says, "Bring that to me." And Tim, is that something that you would do on your own?
No.
Cool. Roll me a wisdom save, please.
Damn.
Well,
God
I
almighty.
want to try to clarify. I was trying to like, I guess, fib that the hat is the only thing that we found.
Oh, got you. Yeah, Calorol's super not interested in the hat. He's like, especially now that Mary's got this thing out. I mean, if he,
Oh, did Mary take the amulet out?
yeah, she's
Yeah.
got it out of her pocket at this point.
That was
Guys,
literally the whole reason I
oh,
said
here.
that.
He's saying it so it's like, oh, you ain't gotta show him the hat, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, to be like, you can just pretend you found the hat and not the
Yeah.
amulet.
Got you. Yeah, I interpreted that incorrectly myself as well.
I did as well.
Yeah, so I mean, this is just dialogue. You guys can roll this back for as much as you want. Just let me know ultimately what you guys are deciding to do. And
I think Mary ultimately is more scared of Calorol than she would be of Titus. No offense.
I mean, I wasn't like trying to intimidate you. I was trying to help you.
No,
It's all
I
you,
just
bro.
mean like,
It's
even
help
if
you,
you're
boo.
like not like scared of like intimidate, but like she is more scared of getting the necromancer upset than getting Titus upset by revealing the amulet. So she's gonna show him the amulet and not try to be like, it's a hat.
Yeah, no, like I wasn't gonna be mad one way or the other. I
Okay,
just noticed y'all were scared, and I was like, all right, I'll try to help out. I don't fucking care.
Oh no, this is like when
Titus
the
is like, I
toddler
don't know
has
this
like
homie.
this
Yeah,
is
whatever.
like when the baby has like the chocolate chips on their face and they're shaking and they're pulling out the cookie from their back pocket. Like there's no, she's just gonna do it.
So you pull the amulet out, and Calorol tells Tim to bring it to him. Tim, what's the result of your wisdom save?
3.
Oh yeah,
You mother.
big time. Tim walks over and holds his hand out to Mary for the amulet.
She'll look around him and just look at Calorol, and it's like, you promised to give it back.
The man doesn't have to promise shit. He holds all the cards.
Does anybody have a health potion on them?
No, sorry.
Okay.
Calorol squeezes, and Tim doubles over in pain in your response to that, Mary.
If he dies. I just don't want him to die.
He squeezes his hands further, and Tim crumples to the floor, still holding his hand out.
Assuming I can't do anything here, right?
I mean, she can let go of the amulet.
That's true. And she'll look back at Tim and just say to Calorol, I'm not kidding when I say he'll die. And just kind of like, puts the little amulet into Tim's hand.
And Calorol lets go, and Tim takes a big gasp of air, stands up, and makes his way over to Calorol, and hands the amulet over to him. And Calorol takes it and examines it, and looks down under his feet, turns around, completely turns his back to you guys. Looks down at the message, like backs up a little bit to read it more effectively. Looks up, hovers over into the middle of the summoning circle. Turns to a goblin. Hands the amulet to him, and the goblin takes it, puts it on, stands in the middle of the circle, and like the 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 summoning circle activates, and the ring around it, sparks to life, and all of the blood, which is pooled underneath you guys, like soaks up and like begins swirling around the floor of this summoning area, and like blood goes like into the like eyes, ears, nose, and mouth of this goblin, and he just like grows to easily the size of Big Daddy, if not larger. And after about 30 seconds of just swirling vortex energy, which I want to make sure you guys are all going to just stand there and watch for 30 seconds.
I mean, Tim can't do shit. He's on point. He's on.
Mary's just standing there like, oh, we're fucked.
I think Titus will like stand in front of Art and try to be like a wall between Art and Tim.
Okay, I like it. Then after all of this heaving goblin is standing.
Hulk smash.
And then Caloral reaches out and touches the goblin between his eyes. And this thing just like seems to suffocate and just crumples into an intact Big Daddy-sized goblin. And Caloral, pulls the amulet off. And all the blood is like, this room is now squeaky clean. There is no blood at all in this room. And Caloral, takes the amulet, hands it back to Tim, and says, "I'm done with this now. Thank you."
I guess Tim takes it back, and
Mary's gonna, if Tim doesn't like fight, she's snatching that thing out your hand.
Yeah.
You hear like shrieking, like loud and excited goblin shrieking coming from deeper in the chamber. And goblins begin filling the room, and one of two things happens. One, two live goblins are led in, one large brutish one and one smaller one, both of which appear to have incredibly bloody feet. They are each gripping a mound of coins in each hand. And one of the goblins says to Caloral in Goblin, "We found these two, next to all the treasure. What do you want to do with them?" And Caloral says, "Restrain them." And some of the goblins that are still behind him pull out manacles and they like shackle them, send them to their knees. Gold coins, scatter out from their fingers, although they're still gripping the few that they have left. And then the second thing is that excited goblins come in, and you can see that their pockets and hands are also full. All of Caloral's horde are reappearing from this chamber with a fuck ton of coinage. And there's like a couple of goblins that come in with one of the tables from the big room, which is like a mound of gold on it. And they're just like, bunches of it's like falling off as they like come down the stairs, because it was a pretty narrow passageway, and they're not being perfect about it, but it is super obvious that these goblins are in loot mode. And on top of, the actual corpses, there are goblins that are coming back in here with like the dead bodies of all the rest of the goblins as well. And they're just like piling them up in the corner on top of the stack of corpses that's already in here. And this process takes a little bit of time. So I just want to check in with you guys. What you want to do during this time?
Tim is going to are we free to go?
And Caloral says, "I won't stop you."
Cool. Turning back around, it's like, do you guys want to go?
Mary's gonna, one thing, before you pass out, and she's gonna kind of like yank on Tim's leg to like tell him to get closer.
He does.
And you should draw the runes, like the symbols for the guild, so they know what it is.
Oh shit, yeah. I'm assuming he's able to do that with 2 in the way.
I'm sorry. What are you trying to do? I'm not clear on this.
There's the symbol. I'm assuming there's the summoning circle. It's got the symbols and everything. Assuming Tim can get a drawing of what they are and such.
Yeah. What are you drawing on?
He has his notebook, right?
No, he doesn't. He gave that up.
Hold
Okay,
on.
I'm sure he has scraps of paper somewhere.
Let me see. I think I have paper. Give me a second. Equipment.
I just want to make sure that he has paper separate from his notebook. You know that. I don't know what Tim's inventory is. You know that.
Okay, I have paper and what's it called?
I think
I have the other bit.
could be a thing of Tim's just automatically reaching for that stuff, and it's he doesn't find it. And if Mary has some that she's willing to loan him,
I have
just hand it
paper.
in.
I can use my paper.
Okay.
Cool. So Mary and Tim are coloring Titus. What are you doing? Standing over Art's unconscious body.
I mean, I'm just gonna follow their lead because I'm ignorant to this dude and his motives and all of that shit. So I'm just gonna be looking if I had a healing potion, then I would have tried to pop heals, get as close to max as I could, and maybe try to attack this motherfucker. But literally just because I'm so hurt and we have no way to heal me right now, I'm just following their lead.
We also saw him kill a Big Daddy in one touch.
That doesn't mean anything to Titus.
I love the dedication.
Titus's brains are in his muscle.
Like I said, it's just because of the current context that Titus is probably still living.
You know, I love it. So
in
then,
character.
So then, if there is no further reaction, and that's fine. You guys start drawing that. We'll
can I specify something with drawing?
With what?
Can I specify something with the drawing?
Sure.
When Tim's done, can Mary write down the goblin word thingies since she speaks goblin?
The goblin word, what? Like the phrase that's written down here?
These. Are these not goblin?
That's not goblin. That's a magical.
Oh, never mind.
It's written out crudely. It looks like a goblin, chipped it out of the stone, but it's like a magical language.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Sick. So then, it probably only takes 2 or 3 minutes. This well-trained group, but they, eventually squeeze in, and at this point, they're filling the back 2/3 of this room, just all these goblins standing on top of all of these other goblin corpses, and all of this, just they're just packed in super super tightly, and Caloral turns back to you and says, "Until next time, friends." And and just a big dark spot where they were all standing of scorched rock, but you guys are alone in an empty, clean, bloodless chamber with a artifact of some kind, and what you managed to loot out of the throne room earlier. Art is still unconscious, laying on the ground. What would you guys like to do?
Can Mary deal a heal check on Art to wake him up?
The other thing that happens when Caloral blips out is Tim, boom, passes out, goes right back to being unconscious on the ground.
Can I do heal checks or something on them to help them become not unconscious, or?
Heal checks are to stabilize them.
Yeah, we just stabilize them. We need to actually heal them to bring them back up.
Or they will naturally regain hit points over time in their recovery coma, and they don't have to be in beds. Titus can throw one over his shoulder, and they'll still it still counts as a recovery coma. But I mean, that's up to you guys. And for the first time, you are in the eerily quiet caverns here. Mary and Titus, what would you guys like to do?
Well, I'm assuming they got all the rest of the goblins that were in here, so do you want to rest here? Because I don't, or can you carry them both? Because they're bigger than me. I can't pick them up.
How big is Art?
I want
He's got a
big
strength
human.
score of like 12 or something. He's a fair
I
sized.
think his was like 16.
16?
Mine's the one that's 12.
Yeah, he's a fair sized guy.
Right. So I was wondering, would Mary be able to carry Art and I could carry Tim?
No, Mary's a
Well, you could
gnome.
drag Art.
So
That's true.
doesn't matter if you're a gnome.
It does too if I'm picking him up fully.
No, yeah, but that's why I asked how small he was.
Okay, I'll take
He's a
Tim
full
then.
sized human.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I thought
Titus.
Tim was a full-size human.
Tim is a full
Nah,
sized.
Both of them are full
Yeah,
size
yeah,
humans.
Art is a bigger full sized human.
I thought you said slight.
No.
I thought it was slight, but it's not. It's 16. He has a strength score of 16, which represents muscles, right? So he's a bigger.
Mary can take Tim, but if you could take Art, Art's way
Because
too
Daniel's
big for
not
me.
the kind of guy to write weight on his character sheet. Otherwise, I would give you pounds. But point being, Titus, you're a strong dude. You could. This is all a moot point. Titus can absolutely carry both these fuckers, like by himself.
Okay, yeah, I'll throw him over each shoulder.
That would be
Okay.
the way.
Mary's gonna make sure she grabs the little paper and whatnot with the rune thing. Make sure that was finished before Tim blacked out.
It was mostly finished. Not 100% though.
Yeah, he just slumped.
Um,
He just slumped over as
And there's like a
as
line
he's
like
finishing over.
where he was drawing, like the last room just like turns into a long tail streak as he just like
Okay.
poof, as it like.
Mary's gonna try to finish what's left, like just lightly sketching,
Cool. Yeah, sounds great.
and then I think we're good to go. I guess she'll look at Titus and say if there's anywhere else you want to explore in here before we leave, or are you good to go?
I mean, I distinctly remember us still being chased by some goblins.
Those
I'm
were
not
the
a-
two that got imprisoned.
Were they?
Yeah, because Dave specifically said their feet were all messed up, and that was because they stepped on Mary's caltrops at the entrance.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
Continuity.
Because I was like, oh my god, they didn't. I was about to ask if they died in the battle if we never saw them again.
Yeah, no, because he and Dave initially had these two following us.
Yeah, and now
So
they're.
I just leave
Because
them.
of-
I just leave them the last place you guys saw them. I just
Right.
purposefully don't move them because you don't know where they are exactly.
Yeah. If we're leaving on the way out, Mary's picking up her caltrops.
Okay, that's fair.
Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to take, since I have both of their bodies, I'm going to take them back over here and fill Art and Tim's bags with more treasure.
Titus comes back, and these stashes have been decimated. Like, there's still coins out here, but they're no longer piles of coins. They're just like a single layer of coins that have been scattered all over this fucking room from like 24 goblins, 3 goblins, like going through and like rapidly filling their pockets. And you can see that like, you know, some of the like cow hides are missing out of here, and you saw them like using them as like canopies, carrying gold out and shit. So there's still gold here, and you can take some time and collect some of it for sure. It's just not going to be quite as easy as shoveling it into your bag as it was before. But you know, you guys got all the time in the world, so.
Yeah.
I'll get whatever I can and shove it into Art's bag since Tim already
There's
has
a-
one.
I'm making this right now, so it'll be a minute. But there's a very specific photo I need for this.
Okay, that's great. Titus opens Art's bag and gold spills out of it, like it was already chock full.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll put it in Tim's bag since I know that he was being a little more conservative about it.
And it like fills in all the gaps between the smaller sacks that are sitting on the top
Yeah.
of his bag that have gold in it, and you like shake the bag and some of them like slip through, and you like, you know, fill more in on top.
Is Art wearing a helmet?
Tim is not wearing a.
Art doesn't. Neither
No,
of
Art
them
wears
wear
a
helmets.
hood. Yeah, no, neither one of them has a helmet.
Okay,
Tim's
I'm gonna
got,
cut the hood off.
Like
I'm gonna cut the
spectacles,
hood off.
goggles. Are you gonna cut his head off? Okay.
I'm gonna cut his hood off and turn it into a sack.
Jesus Christ.
And
this-
you can't even get that sack full. At this point, you have cleared out every single gold coin.
Perfect. That's
After
exactly
about
what I
half
wanted.
an hour of like going through and like picking up coins here. Mary, what are you doing while Titus is picking up all these coins? because this is literally going to take him a half hour or longer.
Okay. I'm curious.
Which I love
What
the
was
idea of a
that one-
giant orc just like crawling around on his hands and knees, just like picking up little gold coins and like putting them in the bag of an unconscious alchemist. You know, it's just
Yeah. Mary, well, one, she'll probably go pick up the caltrops. And then two, what was it that you said ran from me in the beginning? Was it a squirrel or a rat?
it was a squirrel. It was a squirrel.
Okay.
Less squirrel.
Could I find the squirrel?
Do you want to take a half hour to look for the squirrel?
If I'm like not doing anything else, then yes.
Go ahead and roll a survival check.
Yeah, fuck that squirrel specifically.
Anywhere in particular you are starting your search? Any strategy you're undertaking?
Hold on, let me roll. Was that
Footprints
survival
and-
you said?
Yeah.
Footprints and acorn droppings.
Tiny poops. Oh, hell yeah. Nat 20 for a total of 24. Find the squirrel.
Where are you starting? What strategy are you using?
Kind of last place I was, so hold on, let me see. Oh, what Andreas post? Let me see where it was.
Nice. Free
Oh, it came
gold
over
vouchers. Yeah, that's where you saw it
I-
originally.
Yeah, so I guess just going from here and then, like, looking, just trying to follow a trail or anything.
You glance around and you can't really find out anything inside. You click through and find out that these are all different goblin chambers. You go up and find you smell the latrine well before you see it. But you back up to the room and you end up popping back out the hole and like looking around, and you find like some like a small creature's worth of droppings not far outside the hole, and there's like 4 or 5 different droppings there, and the animal is not here, but it's clear this is where it has been pooping. But the squirrel
Damn.
itself is not to be found.
Make a
Okay.
trap.
No, I was hoping to talk to it. Yes, I think that's Becky. We're hunting a. Is it Becky?
That is Becky. Okay, I was finishing up work stuff. Just came back. You guys hunting a squirrel. Oh, you missed it, Becky. Yeah. So the necromancer showed up. His goblins took all the other dead goblins, and they also cleared out most of the rest of the gold in the throne room. But Titus is not to be deterred, and he's using the bag space of his unconscious party member to fill with more gold that was like scattered around on the ground. While Mary already having a bag full
What
of
else did I do?
redstones.
What else did I do?
I don't fucking remember.
Cut off his hood.
Oh,
Cut
that's
off
right.
Art's
Cut off his
hood.
hood and made a bag. Cut off Art's hood, made another bag to get the rest of them. Meanwhile, Mary went looking for the squirrel she saw earlier, and she didn't find the squirrel, but she did find where it regularly comes to poop. So, yeah, that's your little short recap. for
Oh
the mission
no,
so far.
his hat.
Oh yeah, and Titus has Bogan Redcap.
No, Art's hat, not his head.
Oh yeah, Jeremy mentioned that Jeremy cut off the hood.
Yeah.
And,
He cut off his hood, not his head, Becky.
his hood.
Yeah, I also
Yeah,
heard head,
My,
and then
yeah,
I realized it.
You cut off Art's head.
Hood. I cut off his hood and made
no
it back.
Maybe I said
Although,
that. That's very
I
possible.
could carve out Big Daddy's skull, like skull halves, and use that as a container as well.
Ooh, that would be. I mean, it'd be wet and sticky, but that is something you could do.
Yeah.
If only there was more gold.
If only there was more gold.
You guys literally, 2 of the 4 of you, no, at this point, 3 of the 4 of you literally have your bags chock full of gold. Chock full. Like, besides your gear, it's gold. Those are the only 2 things you have in your bags. No air.
Hell yeah.
Just gear and gold.
Hell
I
yes.
guess gear and coins, because they're a mixture, but, same difference. So, yeah, okay. So a half hour passes. Titus collects up all these bags. or creates this bag, collects all these coins. Mary, finds this pooping place and is sitting there for a while, and then decides to do what? Stay out there? You're gonna go back and check on Titus. Titus, what are you doing? You're done with gold. You're gonna go find Mary. What's up?
She'll go back to where Titus was when she's done that.
What I want to do is try to find the, I guess, like living quarters. And I want to, if I can, just kind of look around and try to find anything else that may have been left, but more specifically potions.
Okay, sounds good. You are heading back. You're wandering around, and Mary, walks up the corridor beside you, and your progress is extremely slow, Titus, because you are weighed down with your own gold bag plus two full ass bodies plus their gold bags. You're literally moving at about a step every 5 seconds. Is very slow, arduous process, but you're a strong boy. So you're moving these guys around, but you stumble upon Mary in the hallway, and what are you guys gonna do? You know what you're looking for, but she doesn't.
I'm a big, strong boy.
Is he muttering that to himself as like Mary?
No. Did you see any living quarters, any beds, any common
Mary
rooms?
Any of that stuff?
That's literally where you just came from. Where you were looking for the squirrel.
Oh yeah, and Mary's gonna go yep and kind of start leading the way, I guess.
And you take about 10 steps and turn around, and Titus has taken one.
Is there something you're looking
for? More loot, but potions.
And she's just gonna kind of get to him about, why don't you walk to the entrance and I'll go take a look.
Okay.
And Mary's just gonna go off and look for the potion.
Mary goes off, looks through every single one of these rooms, which have all obviously been tossed.
Do I do a skill check of any?
That's what I'm trying to decide. You know what? You don't do a skill check. I'm gonna do a skill check to see how good the goblins are at finding all the stuff. They rolled a low number. So as Mary's going through here and digging through stuff, there is a lot of everything is displaced except for the beds because they're just piles of straw. So at some point, Mary just shrugs and sticks her arm in shoulder deep into each of the straw piles that she's going through, and she starts pulling out some fucking wild stuff. There's dead things and skeletons, and she pulls out one that's a draw, a Leonardo da Vinci drawing design of a trap. It's and it says in Goblin the sinister masterpiece. She finds a small coin pouch. It's got 5 gold in it. She finds multiple necklaces and jewelry pieces of teeth and bone. But one of the things that she does find is a single potion of healing as she's going through the last straw mattress. And she, tucks that stuff away. Tucks as much of that stuff away as she wants. Because she's the only one who actually has room in the bag. She's going to keep the drawing.
She's going to keep the drawing in the health potion.
Okay, and goes back, and Titus is about 2/3 of the way to the entrance. You come up behind him as he's just still
I'm so close.
These guys. You can literally see the light at the end of the cavern now, though, Titus. So you're getting there.
I'm so close.
She's going, do you want this now or later?
Save it for later.
And after another few minutes goes by, you guys all find yourself standing in the entrance of this cave, which you guys assaulted at night. So it's nighttime.
Are you sure we don't want to just sleep here? Going into the woods at night doesn't feel like a good idea. We could just block off the cat, like go to a room and block some stuff off.
Sure. You know what I want to do? Okay. I'm gonna.
I know that tone of voice. We're about to hear some shenanigans right now.
So wordlessly, I'm gonna go ahead and turn around, and over the course of like a fucking half hour or whatever, I'm gonna bring Tim and Art into this little room,
Yep.
and all Mary sees is Titus just gathering up all of the corpses.
Well, I'm sorry. There are no corpses.
Oh, there's not.
The goblins
man.
hauled those off with
Damn.
with their whatever. It's just very. I can't draw boxes and grab them all at once. I don't think.
Okay.
So
I'll you can. I just don't remember how you. There's supposed to be like a lasso select tool.
yeah,
But I don't
what
know.
it is,
I
but
don't know how to do it.
I'll go through and start
No, it's
casting
fine.
them.
Okay, then I'll just grab all the other
No, the
beds and
wargs are still
stuff
there.
and
I'm
use.
sorry. The warg corpses are still there.
Which ones are?
The warg corpses.
Oh, the wargs. Okay, yeah, I'll bring the wargs. However many, I think there were like 4.
There's there was 3 at the entrance and 2 deeper in, so you've got 5.
Cool. I'll barricade the.
Never
Or I will prepare to barricade that hallway with the wargs. I'm gonna bring them all to the area that way Mary can come in, see the shit that I've been doing, and I'm gonna be like holding them off to the side and gesturing to the room, like, huh?
That will do. Can you pull out their teeth for me?
Sure.
Like the big ones. Like the really big ones.
Sure.
And you're just gonna start seeing Mary like toddler hand clap this and jump up and down. The moment has come.
Teeth for?
Don't worry about it. I'll explain later. It's a long story, but it's important.
You got time? You're not going anywhere?
Okay, fine. Okay, we got time.
We're literally about to take a long rest.
Okay. So
role play a little, bitches.
I have had a dream for a long time, more specifically since we started fighting wargs, to test a theory that wearing a warg coat will repel the wargs. We attempted to make one. It did not go well because the wargs were far past dead at that point. But we did make warg jewelry out of the teeth. And I would like to continue doing that because that's a nice hobby for me at this point.
You're warg earrings, aren't you?
Yeah, she's like showing the ears, you know.
So at that mention, I don't know when I got this, Dave, but I have a note here that says I have collected a bag of mixed teeth. So I'm gonna dig through my coins and shit and give her my bag of mixed teeth.
Mary will look through it and see if there's any warg's teeth in it, but if there's not, she's gonna go like, "Thank you," I'm only in it for the warg.
2 or 3 warg teeth in there, yeah.
Okay, she'll pull those out and then she'll like give it back and be like, "Thank you."
Yeah, I don't want them. I'll throw them in the pile with the other wargs.
Okay.
Let your teeth like clatter out and like run down the mound of orcs or wargs, excuse me.
But no, if you could pull them out too, it would be appreciated because the last time me and Art tried, they shattered.
Yeah, I pulled them out.
Okay. How many wargs teeth does Mary have?
Wargs. So we'll say that 2, 4,
I get a coat.
There's 10 total. We'll say there's a 10% spoilage. So one of the teeth doesn't come out right. Would you end up with 9 warg canines?
Wait. Can Mary skin them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck yeah, Mary's gonna try skinning them.
Cool, sounds good. Roll me a survival check.
Okay, let me see what I have. 4 in survival. Okay, not bad. 19.
Yeah, 19 is enough to only mess up one because you're not trained in this skill, right?
Let me double check. I don't think so.
Leather working?
No. She is touring and bakery.
Hold on. Wait, where the fuck is it? Where did I put it? It's in. I literally have leatherworking tools. I'm not proficient in it, but I have like the tools to do it.
So are you gonna offer them to Mary? Did you see her like pull one of these wargs off the stack, like pull out her regular ass dagger and start like chopping it open? Basically, are you gonna say anything to
Is
her?
is is she proficient in leatherworking tools?
She's not, but they'll make her job easier.
No. I'm gonna like try to follow her lead, and I'm gonna like try to mirror her on another ward, and so I'm gonna try and do it
Then roll
myself.
your own survival check for me, please.
Becky, I'm sorry your job has aged you.
She's always been old.
She's literally always been an old lady. She like goes to sleep early and she's like grumpy and you know.
Becky, I relate.
That's an 8.
Wow. She's also a wonderful person who's a lot of fun to hang out with and we all love very much. But she's always been an old person, Becky.
You don't need to lie to her, Dave.
Dead to
God
me.
damn.
Becky, you don't. Come on.
Love you, Becky.
I'm not
I
perfect
literally
either. Jeremy's not perfect either. You know, you give us a hard time for the shit that we are. Just okay. I mean, come on.
I literally have a present I have to send you, Becky.
And if it makes you feel any better, Becky, old is not the thing you are. Like, I am the old guy of the group. I literally have a keychain that says #1 grandpa that one of the kids at work gave me. So, it's like...
Kid.
So, it's fine.
Let us not forget the stickers.
And the stickers, I have, I think I literally have that stack of stickers. I just swapped out the ones on my phone, but I thought I had them over here somewhere. I don't know where I put them. But yeah, I also have Old Man Crossing stickers. Oh yeah, they're right here. Boom. Old Man Crossing stickers, which I'm going to put one on the canteen that I just got for work. Pow.
Let's also not forget that a person at work done snatched your wig and called you old.
On literally the first day ever meeting me. Dead, unlike, unsubscribe. Oh, Becky, Tell me how I can make it up to you.
$5,000.
I don't have $5,000, but I did get my first payout from Twitch, which means I'm officially a professional streamer. So big thanks to you, Becky.
How much did you get?
For the threshold used to be $100, so you had to make $100 before they like put it in your account. They recently cut that in half to $50. So I made like $50 and 12 cents or something.
I thought you were gonna be like, I got 50 cents.
No, because they specifically don't want to have to deal with all of that stuff for low increments, so they make it high increments. So it's like I've been streaming for 2+ years now, and I've been affiliate for like 6 months plus, a year almost, and it's like it's fun because it's the technicality of it all, right? Like technically now I have been paid to do this. Now I am a professional streamer. Right. I'm going to put it on my resume.
I mean, getting paid to play a hobby, it's not bad.
That's not bad. And having Becky around is a lot of fun. I'm glad that she tolerates us in the background while she's at like late night work meetings and stuff. Yeah, that's great. Oh no, the dogs are going off. Something happened. But let's reel it back in to our current moment. So Titus, did you make your survival roll for us yet?
Yeah, I got an 8.
You got an 8. Cool. So Titus completely botches the first one he has, despite the fact that he has tools here. Mary does pretty well, and she's able to salvage like half of the pelt, but that's not enough for what she wants to do for it. So you guys each, put your skin.
No, the half might be enough if it's for a gnome.
No, not
the
for,
half.
Not for, because you have spoilage too. It's like you don't get to use every square inch of that. Like you cut out the torso, and then you got to cut out the arms. And even if you sew the scraps for the arms on, you still got to make 2 tubes for and so it's gonna. So Mary, cuts into the second one and gets enough material on her second warg, and Titus with his second warg gets a substantial amount of. It's crude, but you basically get most of the pelt off. So you guys now have like 2 halves of a warg pelt, and then another mostly complete warg pelt. There's one more warg with skin on it, and I'm assuming you're piling all the bleeding ones back up on top of each other, and so there's like blood seeping out from underneath them.
Yeah.
You go. What's your survival roll?
Mine was 19 in total.
No,
What's
your modifier.
What's your skill for survival?
Oh, +4.
+4. Can I give her a help action to try to help her skin the last one?
Yeah. Does that include handing your tools over? Or are
Yeah,
you going
sure.
to use your tools to like skin a separate part than she's skinning? I guess that's
Yeah. I want to help her, give her advantage on the roll.
Cool. That's fair. Mary, go ahead and roll with advantage for the last one. Roll twice. Take the higher of. Roll twice. Take the higher of the two. That's what.
Okay, I rolled an 18 plus the 4, so 22.
On a 22, after skinning 2 pelts and getting some practice under your belt, you're able to get most of that last warg pelt as well. So you've got 2, fairly complete pelts and then 2 half pelts, as well as 9 warg canines.
Okay. Can I also use prestidigitation on the meaty bits, like the side that was connected to like the muscle and stuff, to kind of try to get as much of like the liquid gunk, all of that out from that side, so that it doesn't get like nasty and like moldy?
Yeah, and remind me, is this a 1 a day or is this a cantrip?
It's an innate spell-like
No,
ability.
she gets it. She gets it because she's a gnome. I think she only gets 1 a day.
Yeah,
She's a
it's 1 a
rogue.
day.
She shouldn't have magic at all, but she's an inherently magical species. So she gets a couple of spells that she can cast 1 time in a period.
Okay. Can I use it? Can I just like lay them all out and like, huh?
Yeah. We'll say that. We'll say that's fair. That's a fair use of that spell. So you and Titus are still fucking covered in blood, but the actual skins themselves aren't.
I'm fine with
Cool. That process probably takes, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours. What are you guys gonna do? And tell you what, Tim, how many negative hit points did you have?
-7.
-7. Art was more than that, so you're gonna come to first. But 3 hours is not quite enough. I don't know what it says. Anything else Mary and Titus want to do?
Mary will cut off the tails.
Okay.
We're gonna be a hot topic emo theme kid in no time.
So what are you doing with all this stuff?
What am I doing with all this stuff?
Yeah.
I want to make a coat, Dave.
Oh no, you're gonna make it like right here on the spot?
Oh, I thought I had to like dry it and stuff.
You do.
Can I turn it into a coat and then dry it?
Not as effectively.
Or do I?
The coat will shrink.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then she's just gonna like fold it up and put it in her bag.
There's not a chance in hell you've got room for what is essentially 3 full warg pelts in your bag. On top of all the other stuff you got in there.
Oh, Mary knows exactly what she's doing.
Cool.
I mean, if she's the smallest, the 1 full warg pelt, she could probably tie around her waist like a
That's
towel.
what I'm doing, yeah. I'm just going to put it on.
I love it. That's great. Cool.
I'll use the 2 half pelts as like padding between. Well, yeah, I'll just like, put
we'll
them
just
on my
wear it for the
shoulders
time
to
being.
replace Art and Tim since they're sleeping now.
Oh, you're wrapping them in pelts also?
No. So because I was carrying Art and Tim on my shoulders, now that they're sleeping, I'm just gonna put the 2 half pelts on my shoulders.
I see. Which is more than yeah. You're super solid there. God damn it, I can't talk. You know what? Because so much time is passing, Tim, go ahead and make me a Constitution save. And I'll do one for.
I thought he was stabilized.
He is.
Oh.
You can make a check every hour to become conscious and disabled, and because you guys just spent 3 hours working on this stuff, he gets to make 3 checks, as does Art.
Constitution or Fortitude?
It says Constitution.
Okay. If it's
save. Yeah, sorry.
Oh wait, yes. Saving it'd be a Fortitude then.
Yeah.
So 15.
15. Excuse me. Then 15 is enough. So, and Art also passed his check. So Art and Tim both come to we'll say more or less simultaneously. And they wake up and see Mary and Titus covered in blood. They're like on a loose stack of hay. It smells terrible. It's dark. There's like a pile of bleeding warg corpses stacked up past them. Caloral is gone. Tim, what do you want to do?
Can
This
Mary
is-
say something immediately to them when they wake up?
No, Tim's been unconscious. He gets the first talk. What do you
Okay.
want to do, Tim?
Tim's already kind of seen this, so he kind of just rolls over and just rolls over and chills. So he doesn't say anything.
Before you go back to sleep, do you have anything to make a fire?
Yeah, I think he has flames stuff, and if he doesn't, he probably has gunpowder and stuff to make the bomb. So I don't think it's too big of a stretch to make a fire with that.
If we make a fire, we can cook some warg.
Art's like, oh,
That's
dude,
true.
food? Yes, that is what we need to do. That's the next step. Bet.
I do have a flint and steel.
Oh, that's perfect.
There you go.
Tim
And a
is
pot.
going. Yeah,
Well,
Tim is going to help start up a fire.
Since they're awake, we'll just use the beds as firewood
Kindling.
and kindling.
Cool. And you guys have yourself warg does not taste good. Very stringy.
Sick.
Taste,
Can Mary try to do a cooked
it's like the
steak?
texture is gritty. But it is edible meat. You can eat it. It's just not.
Can Mary and Tim try to season it or something? Grandma's love and Tim's salt and pepper?
Not gonna make any difference with some warg. Nice try though. Wargs eat literal garbage for their whole life, so they taste like, you guessed it, literal garbage.
Neat.
Literal garbage with salt and pepper. Salty garbage.
Salty garbage. Oh man. Sweet. So you guys are nothing some sriracha can't fix. You know what? Tim should carry a bottle of sriracha with him everywhere he goes. That would be the wiener. The wiener.
Titus scoffs at such low quality condiments.
Is Titus like a food connoisseur?
No, he just knows his srirachas taste like shit.
So Art is very excited to have some dinner, despite the fact that it tastes like little garbage. What are the rest of you guys gonna do with the rest of your time here in these goblin?
Mary's
quarters?
gonna go to bed.
I guess Tim can try and make some traps. He's probably gonna take some time to look around and see what entrances people can come in, just make traps out of the scrap woods, the javelins and stuff.
Okay. So are you gonna fully explore this cave? Because you have 2 hours. I mean, even if you help cook, you have an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know he knows the other half, but he hasn't really been in this half of the cave.
Yeah, I got you. So you're pretty much just gonna wander through and discover the areas you haven't discovered.
Yeah.
Cool. Roll me a reflex save.
Oh fuck. He's gonna die again. Damn, he actually is gonna die again.
Do it.
Reflex total of 6.
Mary and Titus are in the process of skinning their wargs, and they hear a loud explosion coming from down the
Jesus.
hallway in the direction that Tim walked off in.
That's all Mary's gonna say. Sigh.
So,
It's high. I don't know. I think Titus is going to be very curious and is going to follow the sound of Big Boom.
cool. He comes out and finds Tim again unconscious and bleeding out because he still had negative hit points when he stabilized. And,
Oh shit, did I?
Yeah, you don't go back to 0. You just wake up.
Oh.
So, and even if you did, you'd be at 1 hit point or
That's
0
why we were.
hit points.
That's why we were in here, was to take a long rest so you all can heal.
Damn. If I had known I was still a negative, I wouldn't have gone.
Okay, then tell you what. Roll me. Do you have any hit dice for a short rest? because you stopped, you ate some warg. If you were there for at least an hour, you can spend some hit die and take a short rest
Yeah,
and recover.
We'll do that. I think it's one per level, correct?
One per level, and you only regain half of them on a rest. So it depends on whether or not you have them all. I believe you do because you haven't actually fought much the last couple days.
Yeah. In that case, then Sam is going to use all of them. So let's see. That's 6 3d8. Okay. Eight by one.
Disabled. What does that do?
That's all 6. Okay.
All right, final.
27.
Good. You only took 8 when the explosion went off, so you are now at 19. Explosion goes off. Tim, you're actually conscious though. So what's your reaction to being exploded?
Probably like blows back into a wall. It's like, and it's just like gets up, starts just like gets up, kind of dazed. And it's a situation of like it's been a lot this day. He's just gonna walk back towards the wordlessly walk back towards the cave.
Towards where Titus and Mary and Art are.
Yeah.
So as Titus goes off to find him, he finds Tim like bracing himself against a wall, just kind of like staggered, walking back and forth. Got like a shell-shocked look in his eyes, kind of like staring through Titus, just like down the end of the hallway, putting one foot in front of the other.
And yeah, he's just like, I'm going back to the thing. I'm going back in there.
Good call.
Titus finishes his skinning process. Mary finishes her skinning process and her prestidigitation. Everybody has some warg meat, and then if there's nothing else you guys would like to do, then presumably this is where you take your long rest for the evening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
We go sleepy bye.
You guys go naps, and
We go minis.
the night is uneventful.
Good.
You guys all wake up refreshed the next day. Spell slots recovered. Half of your hit points recovered. Half of your hit die recovered. In Pathfinder, you don't earn all your hit points back, but you earn a significant amount of them back. And I think for our D&D 5e guy, and for the fact that we're homebrewing it anyway, I think that long rest should recover your hit points. So we're going to do it that way.
Do long rests not naturally do that in Pathfinder?
No, in Pathfinder you recover. It's like a set number of hit points. It's like 2 times your level plus a flat number every time you take a long rest. So,
What?
and it's more of an old school way of playing D&D because back in AD&D, you gained 1 hit point a day. So time in between adventures was like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks as you could like stay bedridden and recover 3 hit points in a day and not do anything with your day, and so it kind of like forced more downtime and more like interacting with the non-combat parts of the world. But I think as the game developed and modernized, a lot of the game developers realized that people weren't necessarily like, if you want to stay in a town for a month, you can just stay in a town for a month. You don't have to be recovering hit points to do that. You know what I mean? And so they just were like, you cover. But Pathfinders is more of a mirrored version of D&D 3.5, which still has a lot of that like old school. You don't regain all your hit points. You have to spend a few days in town recovering type mentality. Which is just like a different style of game, because what that would mean for you guys would be, you guys regain some hit points, but you're not at your full health, and then tomorrow you'd have to make the decision like, okay, do we go through the forest that we know bad shit lives in to get back to town, knowing we only have half health, or do we basically hole up and hide out in these caves for a day and just like take an extra day chilling and recovering hit points?
Or
You know,
spend your money on more potions.
right, but you guys are out in the wilderness. You're not somewhere where you can spend money on potions, and so
Right. I'm just saying, like, in general, not
oh,
in
right,
a specific.
or have a dedicated healer, which is literally what's going to happen when you guys turn in this quest. Is some of your characters are retiring and getting swapped out for healers. So, but anyway, I think that unless you guys are telling me otherwise, I think it will probably be more fun for you guys to just recover all your hit points when you sleep. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
I'm assuming you want to play it like D&D works, where you recover all your hit points.
Yes.
Oh,
Power of
me
minis.
likey, yeah.
Yeah, mimis.
Cool. That's 2 for 3. So then, yeah, you guys sleep off the night. You recover your hit points. You recover your spell slots. Tim only gets half of his hit dice back. So please make a note somewhere, Tim, that you only have half of your hit dice, whatever that number is.
Yeah.
Everything's rounded down, you know. And it's a brand new day. What do you guys want to do?
Well,
Actually,
first,
you know what? It's 8:30. We've been playing for like an hour and a half. Let's do a quick break right now, and then we can start the new day to start the second half of the D&D session. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'll probably
Good.
be back in like 10 to 15. Got to take the dog out.
Perfect. I will probably also need about 10-15. So let's just call it at 8:45 local time. We will be back. 15 minutes.
Cool.
Cool. BRB. Be back, Baggy.
Unless something really, really bad happened, but that would be like you stabbed me or something, which I don't think you're gonna do.
But I'm going 5 again, so we can get back to it because I want to get to the second half of this play session for tonight, guys. So you guys have just woken up after a just like crazy intense night of fighting. Titus has like seen Calorol for the first time, and like all this horde of goblins, and has like seen in action them collecting the corpses of every goblin in this place and like leaving with them. But these wargs were left behind for you, and so you were able to salvage some of these materials, which at this point have had enough time to dry to be able to like packaged and carried with you relatively easily. However, you are all heavily weighed down with at least Tim, Art, and Titus are all heavily weighed down with coin, and this will be a long, loud, and arduous process through the forest to get back to the road, and then a long day on the road to get to the campsite, and then a long day on the road from the campsite to get the roadside campsite to get back to Ruinswick. But for now, you are all here in this cave, all conscious, all breathing, all living. What would you like to do?
Quick question: was this a battle big enough to level up or no?
This probably actually was a battle big. No, because I just gave you guys a level, didn't I? Like right before.
I don't
this.
know.
I did. I gave you
Because
guys
I
a
know
level right
Faye
before
and
this. No, I know.
Faye
I
and
did
Bronze
because
if
Andreas was
anything,
talking.
Titus should be the only one to level up.
What level did Titus come in at?
No, I'm at the same level as you guys. I think I came in at 5, and then at the end of the first session, we leveled up.
That sounds right. And you guys have only. And the first session, end of the first session was the devil, right? You guys fought the devil.
Yeah.
And then you fought the
We fought the devil.
werewolves, and then you fought these guys. You guys are close, but I don't think you guys are quite there yet.
Dang.
They're just
one more big bad.
There were a lot of them, but they were just goblins. Like at this point.
I know. I was hoping Big
And
Daddy
I'm
would be
pretty
big
sure
enough.
Titus killed most of them.
I know, but we share XP.
Yeah, I know, but just for the sake of argument and bragging rights, Titus definitely killed them.
I think it was Titus, followed by Mary, followed by Art and Tim at the tie, because y'all got. I'm pretty sure you took some out, but y'all got knocked out at that quarter, end of the quarter.
Yeah.
But
we're heading to camp.
Mary's gonna propose something. Can we bury the loot?
So suddenly?
I know. Mary's gonna ask like if we can just bury the loot and come back for it, so we can actually get back to town. Because she's like, y'all got scratched by werewolves, if you remember right. And at this point, we probably need to get back to town about the werewolves and the one thing, and then you guys.
Well, we also did that long rest, so we probably need to make a bunch of con saves or some shit, right?
Nope.
No? I don't know. Cool.
I mean, we don't want to bury it here because this is Goblin House. Buried outside of the front porch, they're gonna find it. We can probably do it at like later on once we're in more safe areas, and then we can hide it away. But
I'm
definitely
just
not
saying,
here.
I don't think we should try to get the whole way with like pouches of gold.
No, but we can probably do maybe near one of the campsites or something.
Not too close though.
Not too close,
people
but
be robbing.
Near-ish.
Okay. Oh, if only we had a teleportation thing.
No, we just need a bag of holding.
Or a bag of I purposefully withhold bags of holding in early parts of the campaign because this is one of my favorite things I've ever read about. Is like, here's literally more treasure than you can carry. Like, it's a puzzle in and of itself. Like, what do you do now?
I carry it very slowly. Thank you very much.
And then if anyone asks,
like, all right, I'll do it.
If anyone asks,
when I get there,
severe arthritis.
What'd you say?
I said if anyone asks, y'all just have severe arthritis. That's why you're walking funny.
Yeah.
Over exactly what the fuck this is. This is like literally like hundreds of pounds in the backpack. Yeah, this is super heavy.
This is how Titus got so swole.
I know,
Killing
Titus,
people?
this is a
Nah.
medium
Gold? Yeah.
This is just another Tuesday, baby.
Tim is like really struggling with the new weight, and he's like, "Are we heading back to the camp at the very least?"
Yeah.
All right. I'm assuming Tim here has the highest survival. I think it's 7. I don't know what
Yeah.
Titus is. Okay. What do we need to do? A survival roll for that? See how long it takes to get through the forest.
So you guys are going through the forest in your encumbered state, trying to get back to the road. Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, that would be a survival check because there's no road, there's no obvious path here, and this will determine in part. I also need just a flat strength check from Tim and Titus. Art's going to give one as well.
Survival, pretty good. 25.
Okay, 25 is great.
Strength check, not nearly as good.
God,
it's going to be a strength. Where is that?
I got a 14.
4.
On Tim's 4 is the only thing that matters. Tim basically can't carry his. After about an hour, Tim can't carry his bag anymore. It's just like too heavy for him. He's just like dragging it behind him, just super slow and arduously.
So I will offer, if anybody has rope to like tie all the sacks of gold and stuff to the rope and tie it around my waist, and I'll make strength checks at disadvantage. Like I'll just full on pack mule this shit.
Tim does not have any rope. He ran out.
Do Mary or Art have rope?
Let me check. I think so.
Art has not used his rope, so I believe he has rope still.
Would
Hold
this
on.
be a viable option?
Mary does have rope.
So take Art's rope because it's one less thing I have to track for him. And yeah, I mean, it could be a viable option, but it's gonna be.
What if we like fashion, get them all tied up in a thing, and then just have 2 people do 2 leads of rope on it? That way, 2 people can carry it.
Who's gonna be on the other end of the rope?
We're gonna get robbed.
Probably your second strongest character.
Yeah.
Which is probably Art.
Art. So Art will give Titus the rope, string these together, which includes the only effective way to string these together is to basically like take your whole bag and like put it on the rope in between. Like you can't like dangle and tie like all these individual pouches and just like your bags themselves just have coins loose in the bottom of them. Which means that if you guys need to access your gear, it's going to take you longer because it's not going to be on your back. It's going to be like on this rope apparatus. But yeah, Titus and Art can absolutely use their strength checks to continue because Art rolled a 16 and has a plus 3, excuse me, to his check. So that's 19 final for him. So him and Titus are going to be able to carry these things, albeit slowly, but with continued forward progress. With Tim's survival roll, he's going to know that you guys are in the mountains west of the road, and he's going to be able to identify correctly which direction is east, be able to find the river which led past the logging camp, leads you guys down the river, and after about a half a day of traveling, things begin to look familiar, and you guys are past your lunch point, with not quite a half a day's worth of travel left, and territory begins looking familiar, and about a half hour later, you're at the no longer smoldering, but still, wrecked remains of the logging camp. With less than half a day's worth of travel to go, You guys, open up to this clearing. Art and Mary remember this place as the place where they met Gundar the Goblin, posing as a regular laborer, who had his own work crew of other goblins, and you guys chased them into the woods here, killed a few of them, found the logging camp to be destroyed at a later date after deciding to take one of them back to Ruinswick. Like, this is a place with a lot of complex history for you guys. Titus just sees, like, piles of wood and, like, broken tents and just, like, looks like a war zone here. What are you guys going to
do? Okay. Upon seeing this, Tim is probably going to be like, this is probably as good as place of any if we're going to leave some of the gold behind and come back for it later. It's not in the woods where the goblins are, but we can probably hide it pretty well.
I mean, is there a cart here?
Not an intact cart, no. But with
Is
some
it
minor
fixable?
repairs, you might be able to...
I would say, is there a cart
Ooh.
that is to an extent that it could be repaired?
That's probably a better idea there.
Oh. Delete the bugs and say.
Is that bronze?
Yes,
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, this is from
We had a bug adventure.
It's from the other campaign, but it's the only logging camp that I have already ready to go, so...
Tim has woodworking as a skill. No, never mind. He doesn't.
No?
Carpentry, yeah, he does. So would he be able to repair one of the carts?
Yeah, roll me a check.
Okay.
You guys still have plenty of time in your day, so you more than likely have enough time to do this. Yeah, for sure.
Could he try again if he rolled a 1 for a total of 9?
If he rolls a 1 for a total of 9, it is going to take you the entire day and a little time after dinner. You will be able to get it done, within the rest of the day, but it will take you the entire rest of the day. But yeah, if you want to labor away at this thing tomorrow morning, you guys can have a functioning wagon.
We can labor, I guess.
Yeah, Tim just like looks around his eyes, like the equivalent of him rolling out from under the grease on his head situation is like, it's gonna take me a few hours for this one. The carburetor's all messed up and
the axle. It's got to be rebuilt.
The carburetor. God.
It's like, do you want to wait? Do you want to get this fixed up and head out tomorrow morning with the fresh car?
I mean, could I help him to speed it up at all?
You can help him by lifting the cart, and you can speed it up probably an hour. Yeah, by helping him out. But you don't have any carpentry skills, right?
Carpentry? I don't think so.
Would Mary being a gnome with them being crafty, would that help at all?
No.
At some point, you get to too many cooks in the kitchen. So
I don't have carpentry skill, but I do have ride knowledge. I don't know if I might be able to use that. That obviously goes there or something like that.
Ride knowledge would that's reasonable enough. Go ahead and give it a roll. We'll see if you can scrape off more than an hour here.
Probably not. Dog shit. Oh baby, that's a -3.
Good thing it's a non-combat roll with minimal implications. So you're so Tim.
I'm not familiar with this model.
I was about to say, so Tim, Titus is trying to be helpful, but he's just straight up pointing out stuff incorrectly, and he just he's
that's the carburetor right there.
It's good. He's good natured, and he wants to help. But he if you were to do what he told you to do, it would probably slow things down a little bit. But he's really wanting to be helpful.
Yeah, he's basically on a tool duty, basically.
Right, but he can like lift the whole wagon with ease.
Yeah, fucking.
You know,
Tell me what to lift and move, baby. I'm there.
He's basically your jack stands. You know, he's just like lifting this thing for you,
Yeah.
holding it.
I'm on my back on
he's
holding
so
part
strong.
up.
He can just like lean over and hold it up with one hand, like reach out, grab a tool, like hand it over to you. So he does speed things up for you. He shaves about an hour off this process. He gets you done before dinner. But it is definitely still going to take you, the rest of the day and then, some time to set up camp. Mary, what are you doing while these bozos are messing with this wagon?
Okay. I sense too many people under the ship kind of thing.
Yeah.
I guess, Mary, what could I do? Technically.
You
can just chill too. You don't feel obligated to do stuff, but it's an imagination.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's not much I can do. I could hunt for something, I guess, but it's like Mary couldn't get something big enough to feed us all. Could she work on the ward coats?
Yeah. What are you? You're just trying to stitch together some ward coats?
Well, I know they still have to dry and stuff. Like they have to be tanned.
Right.
Before she can stitch them together, but I guess
you could build a fire and try to dry them out that way.
Yeah, I guess something along that line. Getting as much as the gunk out of the fur, cleaning the fur, or something.
Yeah, you could absolutely start doing this, and I just want to know if Titus has any kind of reaction when he sees you working with these pelts over the course of the day.
No, I only grab the pelts for her. I give 0. I'm helping with the cart because my goal is to keep as much of this cash as I can.
That makes sense to me. So then, Mary, you're just going to roll me a flat check if you don't have any leather working or cloth checks or anything. But go ahead and just roll me a flat check. To see how you do with these guys here.
Okay, dice rollers. Let's do this. 17.
Yeah, 17 is enough to not ruin any additional pelts, and you are able to continue the process of drying some of these guys out, and they're starting to get to the point to where they're workable at this point. You've turned them into actual materials rather than just skin off of an animal, and they've been effectively processed at this point. So the next set of downtime you could start using to assemble your coat.
And just to clarify, these are not in a nasty state like the other ones were.
No, the other ones were in a nasty state because they were literally on rotting corpses for days before you guys got to them.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, okay.
These aren't obviously the fur probably needs to be washed to get any just warg smell off.
Right, but you're right here by the river, so you can do all that shit.
Okay, I guess I'll wash them too if we're doing this.
Yeah, so you can just take the rest of your downtime, and with that roll, we'll say that you are able to get all of these pelts effectively processed and ready to use next time around. You guys take an extra day and night. Is there anything you guys want to touch base on, plan for the next day? So this is kind of an idea. So Tim and Mary have been here before, and they know that it only took them a few hours to get what they would guess was about halfway between here and the Goblin Burrows and back again when they were chasing Gundar through the forest. But now it's taken them the better part of a travel day to get to this. So you guys have a better idea of how much you've been slowed down. You guys are still camping for the night. Anything you'd like to do or say to each other?
I get Mary's gonna look at Titus, and it's just okay. Remember how we talked about the blood contract with the one guild?
Mm-hmm.
When we get there, don't say anything too violent because they have a prison cell and they will put you in it through magical means. Just a warning, heads up.
No cell can hold me.
That's the spirit.
I feel like when you say that, that's when Mary and Tim and Art all kind of look at each other, and it's
Art's yeah, we tried. We dressed up like the head guy, and it like almost worked, but then it really didn't, and that's how we ended up out here.
It almost worked, but we didn't have the right key, and we just went downhill from there.
So, while we were fixing the cart, I want to try to use. Can we assume this logging camp looks relatively similar to what the map shows?
Relatively similar, with the exception that this building is not here, and these tents are like flattened and destroyed, and like the piles are
That's fine.
scattered, and it's fucked up.
Totally
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
While we were repairing the cart, I want to try to also take some of that loose lumber and as well as the tents to create a canopy over the cart. That way we can sort of hide the stuff that's in our cart.
Ooh, I love that. With the carpentry skill, because you have a trained carpenter with you, I won't even require a check. We'll just say that that's part of the day that you guys take, and part of the planning process. And it's crude, and anybody like passing you on the road would be able to tell this is like a home built canopy, But if all you're trying to do is block a view, you can block a view.
That's all I want to do, but I don't have the carpentry skill.
No, but
Tim does.
But Tim does. And it's because he's already working on the card. I think it's fair to say that as long as you, the players, have told me explicitly that's what you're doing, yeah.
Are
you've
we
got the
getting a
skill to do
pilgrim
that.
cart? We're gonna be like one of the people going onto the gold mine.
I love this. This is interacting with your environment. It's a real place. You can do whatever you want. It's an imagination game. But you are going to need to now make the decision. Amish Buggy, welcome back, Becky. Yeah, pretty much a hand pulled, or I guess hand pulled. Yeah, that'd be the best way to say it. Cart. You're all standing around the campfire. It's late evening. Rations and dinner has been had. A cart has been completed, canopy included.
Mary's conking out. She tired.
Doing watches, make sure no one steals our loot pile.
Yeah, we'll do watches. Mary will probably wait till later, because actually, wait. How dark is it now?
You guys slept off the night, woke up. You guys are probably starting your watches at around 10 p.m. So fairly dark because you guys have traveled
Okay,
most
so it
of the
doesn't
day,
matter at
worked
this
throughout
point.
the day, yeah.
Mary will just take first watch then, because she has low light vision.
Tim will take second.
Okay. Art will take third.
I'm going to be sleeping in the cart the entire time.
You're not going to offer to take a watch?
I mean,
You could count the
if
coins.
somebody,
You can count the
if
coins
somebody
during
wants
your
me
watch.
to, but I'm going to be sleeping on it. Like,
I see. And on that note, while you guys are taking your watch, I know some of you got items you don't necessarily know what they are. If you'd like to take times with them and take any time with them, during your long rest, you have 2 hours worth of time to kind of do as you like. If anybody wants to look at their stuff.
I guess if before... Yeah, we already... Titus already asleep.
You can talk to him before you go to sleep. You guys haven't actually started rolling for watches yet.
Mary's gonna ask him what he got off the shaman.
I got... Oh, damn it, wrong one. I got a pretty rock with some goblin scratches, and I got a stick, but it looks kind of magic-y.
Can Mary check out the goblin rock?
I'll hold it out in looking view, but I'm holding on because it's mine.
She's just probably gonna she's looking at the writing basically. What does it say?
And she reads it, and in Goblin it says, "Orb of Slope Detection."
Slope like a hill?
And Mary's just gonna tell Titus what it says. Orb of slope protection.
Detection.
Detection.
Of slope detection.
And then I
Okay.
guess she'll check out the wand too. Let's see if Mary has any magical knowledge. Actually, no. She'll look at Tim and be like, "What is
What'd that do?
For the wand or for the rock?
the wand?" Well, both
wand.
actually.
Because I got a magic wand question mark.
I'm assuming they'd be Arcana checks, right?
Yeah, to identify.
Okay, we'll do that. 14, 22.
Fuck yeah.
You are able to correctly identify this as a wand of coin counting.
Tim is going to like. May I see? I can demonstrate what it does.
Sure.
And he holds his hand up for the wand, and I'm assuming he gives it, and then he's gonna. I'm assuming he'd know how to use it, right?
Yeah. It has a command word.
Okay.
You like spend some time with it. You like learn that command word. Yeah.
But he'd be able to use it like right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has no idea how many charges it has, though, which is the nature of wands. That you use them for a certain amount of time, and then they're done.
He is going to. I'm assuming Titus is sleeping on the collective pile of gold now, and he is going to like use it and like command word coins, and then like use it and tap the pile of coins.
Okay, so last I checked, you guys had your 3 bags like strung across on a piece of rope. How exactly are they set up now?
Well, I figured Titus put all of the like bags and loot and shit in the cart under the canopy.
Yeah.
And so you're tapping. Tim would know he needs to like basically like pick a container. He can't just like wave it in a general area. That it's like how many coins are in this, and he needs to like determine
Okay,
which this
so
he's gonna pick.
what if we emptied all of the coins onto the buggy? Would that make it a container with the canopy over it?
That tracks in
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, and just like quick empty, get all the coins out of the bag and put them in a pile.
Okay, I'm just gonna dump them into the buggy.
Cool, and this is perfect. So I need each of you. I have to do a little math here, but I need each of you to roll me a set of percentile die.
Which one's the percentile die?
That is it's
100.
2 die. It's the one that has 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 on it, and it's also a D10.
Okay.
I'm gonna use real die for this then.
Hold on, I gotta find it.
And
Okay.
you guys will have to bear with me as I do all this math.
I mean, if in Owlbear you can also just roll a D1.
That's true.
You want all of us to do it?
I want all of you. Yeah, and Jeremy, if you're done, you can go first.
I got 72.
Okay, wait. In Owlbear, I can roll a what die? Because I'm trying to find something I can use
On the
at this
top
point.
left-hand corner, there's a little box, and that'll bring out a dice tray, and
Okay.
it'll show
And the
you all the
100.
dice. Yeah, just click
Okay.
on the 100.
Okay, I got a 7 for my 10 die and a 34.
No, 34 is the you only.
Oh, okay.
So 34 is what you got.
Yeah.
58.
Okay, give me just a second here. I now need each of you to just roll me a flat D20.
Flat D20.
11.
16.
18.
Oh man.
Bad numbers.
So- Okay, so volume-wise, we ended up with what I'm going to call half a bag, which is Titus's every square inch minus his gear from Titus. Half a bag from Art, every square inch minus his gear. Tim ended up with, we'll call it half a bag, every square inch plus his gear as well. So you guys have loosely a bag, a backpack and a half of coins sitting in front of you. Does that sound right to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. So plus another half of that. Oh, that's easy. And then if 58% of those are copper, then I'm so proud of myself for figuring the system out, guys. Like I seriously agonized over this for a while. Like, how the fuck am I gonna fairly do this and figure out how this is gonna work? But I got it. Then 34 silver. Which means 8 is gold. Okay.
Math intensifies.
So, math intensifies. Becky, you were talking about that bread. They're about to get some real numbers for what that bread means. So, congratulations, guys. You wave your wand of counting out on this, volume of coins that would, if you took an empty backpack, filled it to the brim with coins randomly, gold, silver, and copper, and then emptied it out onto the deal, and then filled it up halfway again, and then emptied that out. That's the volume of coins that you have sitting here in front of you. All of your pouches have been emptied, not from your personal collections, of course, just from what you got from this spot. As you wave your wand, it puts 3 numbers in your mind, each in a different color. Tim, it puts 17,760 in your head in gold. It puts 75,480 in your head in silver, and 128,760 in your head in copper, representing the numbers of each coin sitting in this pile in front of you.
God damn.
That was a lot of numbers. I only
say those one more time.
Yeah.
Write it
Gold, 17,760.
Okay.
Silver, 75,480.
Okay.
Copper, 128,760.
And how many copper and silver go into gold?
So effectively,
it's usually 10-10, right?
Yeah, no, it's 10 and 100. So effectively, that's another 7,548 gold in your silver, and then another. Just move the decimal over, once for the silver and twice for the copper, and another 1,287 worth of gold in copper.
God damn.
How much gold do we have in total? I can't math.
It's a lot.
It's like 25K. It's like between 25 and 30,000 gold ultimately.
Oh my god. Even if we split this evenly where we're all getting some, we're rich. Also, someone's throwing a party outside because I can hear techno, mariachi music.
Considering Mary wasn't willing to take nearly as much gold as the rest of us were, I feel
Mary took gemstones to sell.
That's fine. That wasn't the gold that we were lugging around, though.
Yeah, and Mary's also an elderly gnome. She wasn't going to be able to help you with gold, my dude. That's why she took the gemstones. Also,
would-
I'm taking into account that I have to get gold for our slave friend Corbin to restart his life at this point. We got to get to the gnome village, and he needs a fresh start.
You guys have so much money at this point. It's crazy. You guys are.
Yeah,
You guys
and
are officially in the position to ruin local economies. Like you guys, you guys are in like unintended consequences level of rich right now. But yeah, yeah. So in one flick of your wrist, no time spent counting, no countless hours and days that I had planned out of what it would take you to count this shit manually. You figured out what the wand did, and in 1
Thank
second,
God we took the wand.
instantly know how much money you have.
Tim is going to ask Titus if and Mary if they want to do that with the gemstones that she had as well.
Would the wand work on the gemstones?
Oh yeah, you're right. It doesn't count for value.
I
It
mean,
just
it
counts
would
gold.
it would count the gemstones, but it wouldn't count the value of the gemstones.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
I feel this
Okay.
is where we go get the. Does anyone have appraisal?
Tim does.
I have a 3 in
Um,
appraisal, so
I've
if
got
this
a
is
negative
higher.
-2 in appraisal.
Tim has
What's-
an 8 in appraisal if he wants. If
Oh, then
well,
Mary's
during his watch or whatever. Actually, never mind. We haven't started that. Yeah, he can.
Mary
he
will
can
just show in the gems. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like we can figure out what to do with the gold with them.
Oh my God, Dave! Can I ask a question?
Huh.
How much gold was there in there technically?
A lot more.
Like in the actual room?
More than you guys got,
Can I ask over 100,000?
maybe. Mary would guess
Oh
so.
damn! Those goblins were balling. How'd they get that much gold?
Killing fools.
That's true. They were in the stock market.
But we can figure out what to do with the gold once we actually get it safely back and can make sure that it's not going to get stolen.
Actually,
then-
yeah, when we get back in the town, Titus, 100%, you need to guard the gold.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm planning on doing.
Stay in the cart.
There's a spot where we can take it where it'll be relatively safe, so we don't have to worry about that too much.
If anybody
Oh,
has like
who's
minor
Josh?
illusion or something that you can cast to like try to camouflage the stuff too, that'd be sick.
No, unfortunately.
We can cover it in warg pelts.
No, because you have 1 full pelt and 2 half pelts. That's not covering our cachet of gold.
I know, but like, it's better
can-
than nothing.
We can hide it with the access lumber and just say we're making it. Just anyone who's looking at it's a delivery.
That's true. Okay, anyway, Tim, do your appraisal.
How long would that take?
To go through an entire bag of coins or gems, you probably wouldn't be able to get through all of them, but you could sift through some of them and get a loose idea of how much the bag as a whole was worth. If that's what you're going for.
Sure. I mean, they get. Yeah, sure.
Cool. That you can do tonight in 2 hours during your watch. Absolutely. We'll have you roll the appraisal check first before we get into all the watches and stuff. I just want to know kind of what you guys are trying to do here.
Can Mary assist with his appraisal or anything?
Are you trained in appraisal?
Yeah, she has a 3.
Yeah. Then you can assist him in it. So he can roll twice and take the higher of the 2 results.
Want to do it right now or during?
Yeah, do it right now. Yeah, do it right now. Excuse me.
First one. It's 16 on both, so that'll be a total of 24. 24.
As he's glancing through this bag, there are a lot of lower quality gemstones in here. And keep in mind, even the lowest quality gemstone is worth about 5 gold pieces. With the like diamonds, rubies, and sapphires being worth closer to 500 gold pieces apiece. As you're sifting through them, you're looking for those high ticket items first, and you do find both a diamond and a ruby worth about 1,000 gold between them. And you're going through and you find a few other gemstones which are worth in the range of hundreds, and then there are quite a few of the smaller, more common gemstones as well. And if you had to take a loose estimation of how much this bag would be worth, of course, it depends on the market and the buyer, and gemstones are usually used for magic stuff. So outside of a magical market, this is going to have a significantly lower value. But to someone in Port Saucus in a university town, this is maybe 10,000 gold worth of gems.
And that's basically what he tells Mary. It's just, if you were to sell these, probably in Port Saucus, you could probably get a good 10K gold out of them.
Mary's just gonna, there's a blush on her face, is what I'm gonna say. And she's like, well, I guess Corbin and me are gonna have to stop at Fort Saucus.
Yep. I don't think nothing else is happening at this point, right? We're going to be going to watches.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think.
you guys go to watches at this point, so just roll me general perception checks across the board, y'all.
Okay, that's better.
Mm,
Oh my god.
26.
hold on, I'm having to reload Mary's sheet. Oh, yay! That's a good one.
I haven't rolled in double digits.
That will be a
A
30.
skill check fucking night.
Well, I mean, at least you guys haven't also fought anything all night, so it's not like you've been whiffing on saves for 5 turns in a row or anything, because that's never
Yeah.
happened. But who had first watch? Remind me.
Mary,
And your total?
30.
You are sitting there listening through the night, and there's like a rumble and a crash nearby, and you turn to look, and it's one of the loosely stacked piles of wood that Titus had been pulling stacks off of for the wagon, has come loose and just kind of resettled itself. A couple of the pieces shifted, and one of them fell off the top. But otherwise, the night is uneventful. But you do get quite a start from that initially.
Okay.
Who's next?
I think it goes Tim.
Okay. And your final was?
26.
For a final of 26, you do not see anything in particular, but as the smell of the campfire fills your nostrils, you are just filled with the memory of walking through here, finding the lizard folk, half submerged in the water, being desperate to save anyone you can, and the night passes without incident, but your memory very vividly remembers this place. Who's our next watch?
I think it was Art.
Yeah.
Oh, Art, which means I need to roll for him. He rolls. So, tell me about Titus. Is Titus a light sleeper or a heavy sleeper?
I imagine as a mercenary, he's probably a light sleeper.
He wakes up at the middle of the night needing to pee at some point. Walks around, wonders who's on watch, tries to figure out what time it is. The sky seems to be lightening a little, and finds Art sound asleep at the watch.
Damn it, Art. Well, I think that actually works out perfectly because I rolled a 6 for mine, so I imagine I'm tired and couldn't do shit for my watch either.
Yeah, you're not sure how much time has passed, but when the sun arises, 15 minutes after you send Art back to go sleep in his bed, you realize that Art has slept through his entire watch and most of yours. But you're
I mean,
able
like,
to
thanks, dude, but what the fuck?
right, but you're able to finish up the watch, and when Tim and Mary awake, you're on watch just like you're supposed to be.
Sure am. Like a good little soldier.
And
All
it's
right,
the
we
next
heading
morning.
out?
Yeah.
No goblins waking up, attacking at the middle of the night.
Nope. Quiet as a church mouse.
Good to hear. It's nice to finally have a break there.
Don't fucking jinx us.
Mary's gonna like clap her hands together, and it's like, I think it's time to go get Corbin.
Yep. Let's eat and let's head out. Don't want to waste any more time than we have to.
Who's pulling the wagon?
So initially, I was thinking me because I'm the strongest, but I think it would, since Art is the second strongest, it would be most beneficial him to pull the cart, and I will be the bodyguard for the cart.
Art's
So
not
do
opposed
two.
to this.
Wait, could we push it also?
For sure.
Pull and push?
I mean, we could, but it just seems kind of unnecessary. That's the whole point of the cart, is so only one person.
I know. I'm trying to speed it up because Corbin has been poor buddy.
It's been a few days. By the time you guys get back, it'll be almost a week.
I know, and that's why.
Or us, that we have all this money and nothing to spend it on.
Poor us that we live with peasants.
So you guys wake up the next day, load up, head out. Art is pulling the cart. Where are Tim and Mary? Where are Tim and Mary positioned? And I guess that
And
question
Mary-
goes to all three of you. I need to know where your
Is
bodyguard
Mary
positioned
tall
as well.
enough to push?
Pushing isn't going to speed it up. All you're going to do is push it into Art, and that's going to stop him from being able to pull it efficiently.
But if we're trying to like if we're pushing it to try to take the weight off.
No, because it'll take off the weight off of him for a bit, and then he's gonna catch up, and then it's basically the same thing.
The whole point of the
doesn't really
cart
help
is so only one person needs to pull it. That way, everybody else can worry about defending it.
Okay.
I'm thinking Titus wants to be behind the cart so he can have the best vantage point to look at it, and I think Mary and Tim should flank either side.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and we also like loaded it up with like logs and stuff like that, or not logs, but branches and things to kind of hide the stuff, right?
That was from my understanding. Mary 100% was going to lay the ward coats on it.
Yeah, I just need to know what all you guys stacked in here. There's obviously the gold. I'm assuming back in your guys' bags and backpacks and things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which means that, again, you guys don't have access to that stuff immediately. You'll need to get into the cart to get anything that you had stored that couldn't fit in a pocket. But otherwise, you guys have the coats on it, and then anything else? Branches?
Yeah. I think that's it.
So there's bags under coats under branches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next day, you guys continue your journeys. Fortunately, there is a real road here, a real path here. And again, Mary, Art, and Tim are filled with a little bit of sadness as they pass the point where the lumberjack's body was found dead, and then later gold coins were found there. You know what? I messed something up from a role play standpoint, but that's okay. And you guys need not another survival roll. I do need a strength check out of you, Jeremy, please, out of Titus. It's a wagon, but the wagon itself weighs a little to pull. Just got to make sure that you're not completely whiffing it here.
I
Oh, no,
thought
sorry,
Art was.
no, it's not you. You know, it's art.
Yeah,
It's
I
art.
was
It's
gonna say,
art.
Art's
Pardon.
on it.
Pardon, y'all. I can keep track of this shit. Art rolls very well. Look at him.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you guys make it not only back to the road, but to one of. Well, you make it back to the road after about half a day's worth of travel. You stop for lunch, finally out of the woods, having it at your back for the first time. You travel along the road for only another mile or two, and you find a broken down wagon with a fat, red faced halfling swilling a jug of wine who sees the lot of you approaching and says, "Ah! You're the only travelers I've seen today!" And there's a large, sullen looking orcish fellow like hunched over, working on one of the axles on an obviously broken cart. Anything you guys would like to do in response?
I would like to ignore him completely and keep moving.
I'm with Titus. I ignore him.
Same.
I think like hi, and it's just like good luck to you guys. We have to hurry.
And he's
It's like
I have wine, spirits, half off if you just stop and talk a while. I'm bored out of my mind. This oafish creature knows how to fix a cart, but not how to hold a conversation.
We have a friend who is in danger, so we have to get going.
we can just ignore him.
Yeah, you don't need to explain yourself to him.
Mary
And
feels guilt about this because it's like another shorty to another shorty.
don't care. Covers Mary's mouth. Don't say anything to him.
But
He
travel
doesn't
is
need to know
thirsty
anything.
work. Are you certain you don't?
If Titus covers Mary's mouth, she's biting his hand.
I want to I'm going to step off of my normal path and I'm going to approach him. I'm going to say, "Step back and stay back, or I will make you."
Roll intimidation check, please.
With pleasure.
With pleasure.
God fucking damn it! That's a 12.
He's
I was gonna
just-
say, did you roll in that
He's
one?
just a wine merchant, my friend, and a halfling, so not a very large one at that.
I haven't rolled anything double digits.
Well,
All fucking.
you know, man, sometimes the dice, they be cruel. It is enough to
Gotta
intimidate
be
the
the-
wine merchant, who
Sick.
literally drops the jug of wine he's holding, steps back, puts his hands up, and says, "Oh, all right. I was just looking for some company. Please be on your way."
After he drops the wine, I pick it up and I take it with me and I continue on.
It's only about a
Come
third
back and
full,
fight us
because some of it
That's fine.
spilled out on the ground. But you
Okay,
can
I'm gonna
absolutely-
down the rest of it and throw the empty container at his feet.
Yeah, he's not. He has nothing to say about that. And you guys continue on your journey. Mary, I thought I heard something out of your voice.
I said this is gonna come back to bite us in the
Oh,
ass.
absolutely. We don't have time to fuck around with this guy right now, though.
But it's a real world. It's not just the thing you're trying to do right now. There are other people living here. eking
That's
out
why
an
Mary was trying to be
existence.
friendly.
But you guys rolled an excellent strength check, or Art rather rolled an excellent strength check, and you don't need a survival skill once you get to a road. So, you guys are able to make it to the campsite that puts yourselves about a day's journey away from Ruinswick. It's a commonly enough used campsite off the road, and you guys, get here relatively early in the day, probably like 7 p.m. More than enough time to make camp and have dinner for the night. And slowly there are other parties that are trickling in here, other travelers which are heading in the same direction as you as well. Anything you guys would like to do on this night of camping with your downtime?
And like before we got there, it's a thing of like we're parking away from people.
I was gonna say, I propose we make our camp away from like the masses, just so as not to attract attention to ourselves.
Yep, and it's a camp, but feel like still watch us so that we aren't getting robbed.
I'm sorry, Andreas.
Oh, do like watch it so that even though it's a camp, we're not getting robbed.
Art says, I don't want to get robbed. It'd suck to go through all of this just to get robbed a day from town.
What about you, Titus or Mary?
Could you repeat it? I couldn't. It cut out on my end.
Oh, basically do watch it so that we don't get robbed by people here.
Yeah, sounds good to
Yeah.
me. I'm going to sleep on the cart again.
You guys, I'm going to save you guys a little time. We're just going to streamline this a little bit. You guys go through your watches, sleep on your cart. This is a commonly used campground. This is the fantasy equivalent of
A bed and breakfast.
not a bed and breakfast of like I'm trying to think of
Regular
campsite. I can see the image, the campsite. It's a yellow background with a red triangle for a tent. It's like letters.
Campgrounds of America.
Yeah, KOA. This is like the fantasy equivalent of a KOA.
Yeah.
So like, there's like people like know how to act here, and if you pop off, just everybody else camping just like burns down your tent and kicks you out of here. You know what I mean? It's like people know not to fuck around in these places, at least when there's this many people around. So you guys, camp through the night, have a more or less uneventful night. There's a rowdy group who's drinking too far into the night, and one of you hears the sound of someone having some terrible diarrhea in the middle of the night on your watch. One of your poor fellow campers out there, but and just a cacophony of snoring. But all in all, it is an uneventful night, and you guys wake up the following morning ready to finish your leg, your last day of travel to get back to Ruinswick.
I propose the same marching order.
Yep.
Art doesn't have any opinions, and if Mary doesn't,
No, I'm good.
cool. Then you guys travel along the road for the day. It is an uneventful day of travel. You finally, after, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, after the better part of a week, after 5 or 6 days, for the first time, are seeing the crops that make up the fields of the farms just south of the town of Ruinswick. You can see houses for the first time in quite a while and know that at least this leg of your journey will be coming to an end shortly. You are just outside the town of Ruinswick, and this is your last opportunity to have a conversation in private on the road before there are townsfolk who may hear you. Anything you folks want to do?
So Tim's probably gonna be like, once we get near the town, we do not want to take those main roads. People will be talking, and there's a couple of shithead guards right there that may try to run our pockets, and they also don't like me very much, so may want to cut through like the fields and the forest.
How metropolitan is this town?
Super not. Let me see if I have it loaded. Give me just a second. Yeah, I do.
I guess also Mary will
So this
kind
is
of
like
look
the
at Titus.
footprint of the town, and you guys are going to be ultimately coming up this road. But the idea is it's just like farms and fields for a couple of miles south. So you guys are still working your way up this road, in the quote unquote rural part of this town. But even the urban part of this town is like a town center that literally has a general store, a church, a guild hall, 2 inns, and a bakery. There's like a governmental building, like a ruined set of something up on a hill, and like a wizard's tower. And that's pretty much the extent of this town. Village.
But once before we got to there, Tim proposed that we kind of cut around the fields and into the forest towards Charles's tower.
Mary's gonna look at Tim and say, I think we should probably go take care of that blood contract first.
Let's see.
Would that blood contract be taken care of in this town?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could it be a thing? In that case, then, I guess, would you want to stay outside of town with the cart and make sure we don't draw any attention before we come back?
Yeah, Mary's gonna look. Was about to ask Titus that if he wanted to stay with the cart.
How far away from our current location, say the general would be?
Couple of miles, 3, 4.
I want to check the general store really quick. Stay here. I'll be right back. I promise I won't do anything dumb.
Okay. In the meantime, could we get the head in the hat so we can give it to the guild?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Thank you.
Would probably be better for me to not carry 2 halves of a head through the middle of town anyway if I'm trying to be inconspicuous. Already a half.
Not going to be super inconspicuous. Definitely look like an adventurer, and you are super covered in blood from all of your skinning and slaughtering. But yeah, man.
Well,
you're
at that
definitely
logging
more
town,
conspicuous with a head, for sure.
at that logging town, I thought we would have probably like tried to take a bath and like try to wash at least some of the freshest blood
I
off
guess
in the
that's
river.
true. I guess if you wanted to take a shower or a bath there, that would have been a good place to do it.
Just
You
like
would have had an opportunity.
washing up in the river.
Yeah. So blood stains. You still look
Yeah,
like
yeah.
an adventurer, but yeah, I
Yeah.
hear you. Not as bad. Gotcha.
Yeah, I want to take a quick stop to the general store.
Just you'd be going to the general store for going to the guild, or we're waiting out here?
No, I figured you guys would wait there real quick because I will guard the cart while you guys do your blood contract shit. But I want to make a stop at the general store beforehand.
All right. Tim just says as whenever you're going, it's be careful. Some people can be really racist in that town.
Yeah, it's fine. Nothing I haven't heard before.
Yeah, just avoid the kind of nice looking inn. That one's not very nice.
That sounds good.
Data racist ones.
Okay, so you are heading to town square to look for the general store, right?
Yes.
Okay, so as you're walking there, you pass a building that has a couple of guards standing out it, who are eyeing you cautiously as you make your way through. But as you are a lone traveler, they don't say anything specific to you. You walk past a windmill, a couple of houses. There's a kind of rundown place with obviously battered and recently repaired door. With a sign out front that says the Rusty Hand Axe, and directly across the road is a much nicer inn with a clay tile roof and the smell of sweet baked goods coming out of it, entitled the Shaded Chestnut. There is a small church. There's a guild hall. There's a bakery called Sweet Dreams Bakery, and then you see the general store called Flint Brooks This and That in the square as well. And I'm presuming that's where you make your way.
I will first make a mental note of the Rusty Hand Axe. Think, good name, and I'll continue on to the general store.
Cool. You make your way into a general store, and there is a man behind the counter, and he says, welcome in, a face I haven't seen before. What can I be doing for you? My name is Varden Flintbrook, the owner of this fine establishment.
I want to take a look around and see what wares he may have.
This is a rural adventuring place. So you can buy caltrops, lanterns, any amount of rope, climbing gear. Your fellow adventurers came through here earlier looking for robes and things specifically, and this is the kind of place that has robes and textiles for sale, but they were in browns, greens, blacks, earth tones, simple colors. There wasn't anything fancy or pinstriped here, right? This is the Tractor Supply of the fantasy world. You can get what you need here. You're not going to have that much choice, and it's all going to be real industrial. but it'll take care of your needs. And that's very much the vibe you're getting as you're looking at this place.
A mildly disappointed look runs across my face, and I'm going to approach the counter and kind of lean over. I'm going to ask him, do you dabble in magical goods?
And Flintberg says, there aren't very many people in Runeswick who have any need for such things. But he kind of glances side to side. Occasionally, I have an item of interest come across my counter.
Would you happen to have a bag of holding?
And he, furrows his brow, looks at you. Your DM picks up his dice and rolls it. He says, I have something even better. And he goes down and he finds
It's a
something.
Louis Vuitton purse.
And he pulls out like a much smaller pouch. And he says, I have a pouch of withholding. And he holds it to you. He's like, see? An ordinary pouch. And he opens it up. It's completely empty. And he's like, nothing to see here. Nothing fancy. And he turns it over. He waves his hand over it and says a word. And then turns it upside down. And out of it falls a few gold pieces. And he's like, you can hide items that you... There's a small... It's like a bag of holding. There's a small pocket dimension which holds a few items secretly somewhere separate. And it's a very small portal, if you will. It's not... It doesn't function the same way. It's more designed to it doesn't give off a magical aura. It's easier to hide things, to sneak them past someone looking for a bag of holding. Would not necessarily find a bag of withholding.
It's a smuggler's pouch.
Well, it would be illegal for me to sell you something for such nefarious purposes, but I won't tell you how to use it.
Snitches get stitches.
How much would that pocket dimension be able to contain?
He says, unfortunately, it's only approximately as much as the volume of the pouch itself, and it's like a coin pouch. So it's, if you're thinking about using it for storing coins, you're looking at 150 coins worth of storage out of this.
Yeah.
That you could blink into and out of existence essentially with it.
Right.
But it's not the same, 2,000 pounds of volume of a bag of holding or whatever.
Right. Okay. So I will take it, but I also wonder if you might have any illusory fabrics.
Illusory fabrics. He's like, do tell.
Something to withhold appearance. Maybe a cloak of invisibility, for example, or something along those lines that may be able to cover a small cart.
And he lets out a country whistle. I don't know about something like that. And he stops and he thinks about it.
I have a handkerchief of invisibility.
Yeah, right.
That wouldn't even be a handkerchief of invisibility. He says, well, all I have is a handkerchief of misdirection. He said,
God damn it.
He says it'll take someone's attention. It'll take someone's attention off of one hand for you and he pulls out his hands are empty in 1 second and they have a lit candle in them another second. And he's for misdirection.
He points to a wand, it's just camo print on there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just camel print.
Okay. Well,
and if you turn it
You're out
around,
the
it's
sticks
just
right
white.
now, Jeremy. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
No.
with the hand,
I will-
you turn it around and it's
pass.
just plain, so it's 2 for the price of 1.
I will pass on the handkerchief. I will accept your what was it, bag of withholding?
Bag of withholding. Yeah, pouch of withholding, because it's not a
pouch
proper
of
bag.
withholding.
Pouch of withholding. And he says, "Are you sure you can afford it, friend?" He says, "It's thousands of gold. 3,000 gold to be precise."
Now,
God damn.
while that does sound like a modest deal, I would have to argue that how could such a small thing cost more than 1,500 gold?
He says, "Because of its mysterious properties." He says, "Even the most profound, educated, learned, wizened sorcerer would be unable to identify its magical properties."
I'm calling bullshit.
Right. I think 1,500 would more than suffice. I'm going to give him a.
I'm just checking Becky's chat. Are you asking a motherfucker invisibility cloak?
I was actually asking for a motherfucking invisibility tarp, but yeah.
But yeah.
And in exchange, we got a handkerchief of distraction.
and he says, "Why don't you roll a diplomacy check on your haggle?" I know you may not be the most charismatic bro.
I was more leaning towards like a soft intimidation with my stern look.
My stern look. Any other skills you'd like to argue for using? Intimidation's kind of a hard one with a shopkeep.
No, intimidation is what I was going. But yeah, I'll do diplomacy.
I must say, I would highly encourage
Oh my-
you to roll diplomacy.
It was hovering over 15 and rolled over to the 5 for a 7.
For a 7. Barthen, not Barthen, wrong game. Varden
So
looks at you.
Sick of digital ass dice.
Well, they're not great. Varden looks at you and says, "Yes, maybe." He says, "You might be able to find one for cheaper. Not in this town, though." He says, "Tell you what, 2,000 and it's yours."
Throw in a couple healing
the
potions and you've got yourself a deal.
And Barthen goes back and looks at his stock, and you can see him counting potions, and you count along with him and get to about 6 or 7. And he says,
I was thinking like 2 or 3.
He says, "I can give you 3 potions."
I'll shoot my hand out for a handshake.
He will shake your hand, hand you the pouch of withholding, and wait to be paid himself.
I will hand over 2,000 gold.
Which is now chump change for you.
Actually, no. Can I give him 20,000 copper just to be a dick?
He doesn't care at all about you giving him 20,000 copper.
Because that's the equivalent, right? 20,000
he will
copper?
gladly take it all from you. Yeah, because 20,000 would be 20,000 goes down to 2,000, goes down. No, actually, it'd be 20,000 silver. It'd be 200,000 copper, I believe.
Oh,
Give him 100,000 copper. That's we have that kind of cash. That's half of the amount, and then get.
Did
the
you
rest
carry? Wait, are we outside the store?
Okay, I'll give him 100,000 copper
Now, I'm
and
assuming
10,000.
Titus loaded his bag up
Yeah.
with coin before heading into town.
Yeah, I'll give him 100,000 copper and 10,000 silver.
100,000 copper. Okay, great. So let me make a note.
Just put a bag of pennies on his.
10,000 silver
exactly.
leaves you guys with 65,000 silver.
65,480 silver and
28,760, which means you guys are down to a much more manageable amount of money. or at least a much more manageable amount of coins, and the volume has dropped for you pretty significantly here. I will say that in order for you to load this, you had to unload your regular gear and like empty your bag entirely and just fill it with coins.
That's fine.
But you know are able to haul this amount slowly through town because you didn't stop anywhere. There wasn't anybody who had really a chance to eyeball you too hard, and you get to Flint Brooks, this and that. You pay him his money. You get this pouch, which will hold 150 coins or so worth of coins in this other dimension with this secret word, as well as 3 health potions. And Flintbrook is ecstatic at this like huge pile of coins. He like pulls out a couple of lock boxes, and they like literally have dust on them, like they haven't been used for a long time. And he's like filling them up with all these copper coins you've given him, and he's just happy as a clam.
Wonderful. I will give him a salute. I'm gonna shove would I be able to shove the potions into the pouch of withholding?
Oh yeah, 100%. There's more than enough.
Cool. I'm gonna shove the potions in. I'm gonna hold on to the pouch, and I'm gonna walk back to the cart.
Sounds good. So we'll say that this process takes you about an hour. So in that hour, I want to know what the 3 of you would be doing: Tim, Art, and Mary.
Also, Tim, make a note that you have the wand of coin counting, because I'm going to get rid of it from my inventory.
Sort of bank with that.
So we were just waiting.
Yeah.
You guys can just hang around and wait for an hour. That's fine. I just want to. An hour is passing in game, so I want to give you an opportunity to spend it however you like.
Yeah. Honestly, just waiting, because considering what's happened with Tim around here, don't really want to start trouble.
Cool. And you guys are far enough outside of town. It's not a big issue. And then Titus approaches you guys with his bag significantly lighter on the road outside town.
Well, I didn't get what I wanted, but I did get a couple of potions.
And half of the money's gone.
How much did you have to spend?
Okay, baby. Of course. Just got rid of a hefty amount of copper and a little bit of silver.
How much?
About 2,000 gold's worth.
Okay, not bad in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
How many potions did you buy?
I got 3 potions, and then I'm gonna pull out this tiny bag and shove my hand like down to the elbow and pull out 1 potion, 2 potion, 3 potion.
Honestly,
kind of making a show out of the bag.
Right.
For half of the weight of the gold gone and only 2,000. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good purchase, I'd say.
I was hoping for a bigger bag so we could transport I'm going to look around and kind of mutter under my breath, our cargo a little more easily, but this is the best I could do.
Hey, it gets it down to, 1 bag of gold. Makes it easier now. I guess if you want to wait here, we're going to go and take care of the blood contract. Then we can go and try and stow the gold away. We know the wizard in town here. I think maybe not give him the full details or something, but we can trust him enough to not rat us out and get us in trouble with that amount of gold.
I mean, do you have to tell him about the gold?
No, but tell him enough to know that we're bringing a cargo.
I love the dynamic between those of you who have a relationship with Charles the Wizard and your newcomer.
I mean, I think it just makes more sense for me to just guard the cart in a less conspicuous area, and you guys to just sort of play ignorant.
Fair, but we can hide it in the woods near his tower. It's outside. It's outside enough from town. No one really goes there aside from him and his assistant.
Yeah.
And Jeremy, Titus would be able to see the tower physically sticking up over the trees in the distance. It's just outside of town here on the map.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think we'll probably post up like, oh shit. We'll post up the cart like around here. That way we're all in this forested area. So like right here.
Yeah, and your party has walked this road probably more often than any other road in town. There's a town crier who stands outside of this building and sees them coming and going. But this is all abandoned and destroyed. They've only ever been up there once, but nobody else seems to really travel this part of the road.
But we'll probably go and take care of the blood contract stuff. That way we're done. That's done and over with. Then we can go and stow the cart away and figure out our next plan from there.
Sounds good. What kind of magic does Tim know? Like, do you have like firebolts or anything like that? Anything like explosive?
No, I mean Tim's gonna point out his explosive stuff is his bombs. It's all handmade. His magic is it's healing stuff.
Okay. If you guys need any help, then throw a bomb in the air, and I'll come for you.
They got magic there, dude. I don't think a big axe is gonna help.
I'm gonna like slap my hand with the axe. The bigger the axe, the more it helps.
All right. Just okay.
But I will wait to be called.
Yeah, we're gonna try not to cause any trouble this time. Hopefully, we won't need to do anything crazy like that. Fucking with them is basically like fucking with the local mob. And I'm assuming at this point, then, Tim and Mary would be going over.
Yep. If you guys want to go over, Art will follow you. No problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have the amulet. Do we have the cap yet?
Yeah.
From what I
gave Mary the head and the cap.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just assuming like Art or someone's carrying the head itself though, because from my understanding, it's huge.
I'm just loading in. I haven't actually loaded in the Woodsman's Guild's map yet, but I do have one. So,
is this an interaction we have right now, or start the next session?
it's totally up to you guys. I am gonna bring up the time because I was like pushing, hoping to get you guys through this. I know that your party members, Jeremy, have been really eager to get this blood contract off their back. So I kind of wanted to like give them the opportunity to do that this session if they wanted to. Otherwise, if they want to start the next session with this interaction, that's totally fine too.
If you guys are fine with getting it done with, because like this was my plan for like Mary and Corbin are like leaving after this, from my understanding. So if you guys are like good with just getting it done with, like I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine.
I don't know about Tim's plan, but
since Titus has effectively removed that entire interaction anyway, would y'all mind if I bounced? I got to take the dog out and then put him to bed.
Not at all, my
Yeah,
friend.
that's fine.
yeah.
We'll just say that you babysit the money for the rest of the night, and we'll start you next session on the next morning.
Sounds good.
All right, bud. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for running. Good time as always. Can't wait to see how the fuck this unfolds.
I can't wait also.
Yeah.
All right. I'll catch y'all later.
Later.
See ya. They got mad. Okay.
So give me a second, guys. My stream quality just totally took a dump. As soon as I loaded in this map, it might just be too labor. It might be too big of a map for my shit to handle. Give me a second. If I switch back, does it fix things? No. Well, kind of. We're so close to the end. I think we'll just power through. Okay, friends. So you guys have gotten back to Ruinswick. You know the Woodsman's Guild. It's okay, guys. I'm still here. Our hardcore viewer, fan, follower. She doesn't care if it's potato quality. She doesn't care if we sound like robots. She's
Thank you,
still here
Becky.
for us. Becky's
Oh,
the
gee.
best. Oh, there we go. My square just went green, which means that potato quality should be gone. And we should be back to high quality business. So you guys approach the large double doors of the Woodsman's Guild, and you know exactly what lays in front of you. Once you cross through these doors, it's going to be a long runner carpet with benches on either side, and a half-moon crescent-shaped table rather, with 4 individuals sitting at it, a bespectacled orc, an angry dwarvish man, a quiet human, and a snooty half-elf. And you guys are standing outside of this building. I definitely lost y'all for a sec. Well, I'm glad that we're back. I can see that I'm green now, down in the corner there, Becky. So hopefully this should be better for you. What you guys are standing outside the Woodsman's Guild. What would you like to do?
Okay, so we got the head, we got the hat, we got the drawings of the runes, and we got the necklace.
Yep.
And we wiped out the whole thing. Oh, so
Oops.
I think we're good. I think we're good. We can get your journal back, we can get my ring back, and we can get Corbin back.
Yep.
Let's do this.
And we aren't gonna threaten anybody.
And we aren't gonna threaten anybody.
Okay.
And we aren't gonna threaten anybody. Oh man, that is fucking funny.
All right, and we'll make our way inside then.
Okay, then as you guys make your way inside, you see this scene that I've laid out before you with this bespectacled orc, the snooty half-elf, the human, and the dwarf. And the doors open, and you make your way across to the table, and the orc looks at you and puts his spectacles down and says, "Ah, well, what have we here?" And everyone else looks up, and the dwarf, looks at you and says, "My God!" And the human looks. The half elf lets out a "huh," and the orc says, "I can see that you're here, and despite the fact that you're here, you're not in breach of your contract." Which leads me to believe you may have actually completed it successfully.
Surprisingly, yes. And Mary's gonna take out the hat and put it on the head at this point.
On her head?
No, on the goblin's head that Art's holding.
Okay.
We have brought you the head of the Redcap leader. We got you this amulet. And she's gonna take the amulet out. A drawing of the runes that were in there, which they were doing ritual stuff. And then that's about it.
And you put all this stuff in front of the orc, who passes it down the line. Everybody takes a look at it before passing it down, and it all ends up at the half-elf, who looks at it all and then looks up from his work at you and says, and looks past actually you guys at the orc and said, "Have them mark it." And the orc, reaches down into stuff, sorts through stuff, pulls out like a map of the surrounding wilderness, slides it over to you. You guys can see like the river, the logging camp, the mountains, and the orc says, "Would you show us exactly where?"
And Tim would be able to do this, correct? Because he's been the one like kind of leading through the forest and everything.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Then Tim's gonna do that.
And the orc circles it and looks at it, flips it around, and holds it up just from where he's sitting for the half elf to see, who's looking at it, and goes back to looking at the amulet, which he's been spending most of his time kind of glancing over. And for the first time in this interaction, he speaks and says, "There's quite a bit of blood on this."
Yeah. So we went in that cave, and goblins and wargs, the basics. But we got to an area, which is where you'll see the runes if you guys go check it out. And there were like a bunch of goblins and a shaman, and this guy, who was huge. And every time a goblin died, the shaman was using some blood magic ritual and turning this guy into a bigger one. And he kept growing and growing, which is why he looks so big. And we used a magical item to recognize it as a Hagragash related item.
He says, "Yes, I can see his mark on it here." And he flips it over and says, "And the word on the other side that says power, I'm assuming, is this growth you were speaking of? Did you see the ritual?"
Yes. Basically, he would stand in a giant ruin. Is that where it started off at? Then there was slicing of goblin throat. Blood fell down. He absorbed it, got bigger. But as more goblins died in the battle, he kept getting bigger.
I see. Anything to add, Tim?
Nope.
Oh, Mary has one thing to add.
Yeah.
By the way, the shaman wasn't just doing the basic goblin magic.
Oh?
Well, from our experience with goblins, it's basically been fireballs, nature, elemental stuff at most. But, he broke Tim's arm. With a spell.
And he looks over at Tim and say, "Care to explain?"
Would Tim have been able to recognize the school of magic that was?
He can think back on it and roll an Arcana check.
Okay. Thank goodness for a decent Arcana score. 15.
Okay, give me just a second to double check the stat block. He is able to identify that as a straight up necromancy staple. Bones are hands down necromancy. Always.
Tim's like, he was using necromancy magic. I learned the hard way because felt like my bones broke in several different places when I tried to attack him.
Did any of the lumbermen have these kinds of broken bones?
Can we do like a look back?
That's a pretty specific check, so it's going to be a pretty stupid high DC. Anything else you want to suggest?
Let me think.
Would it have been the guy in that blood pile that was running away? That had been like leaving the camp?
You'll have a higher probability of success if you try to remember a specific instance, such as that.
Can we do that, I guess, just try to remember a specific instance?
Well, we'd have to remember it.
I'm about to
Oh,
say, you'll have to
damn.
roll your wisdom check and see if you remember. But
Okay, I'll roll a wisdom check.
Yeah,
same.
I think it's gonna do the same. I can't. It's hard to remember.
Ooh, yes.
I know we
Nat
covered a
20
lot of
plus
ground.
1. Nat 20 plus 1 for a total of 21.
Wisdom 9.
9. Tim remembers mostly his memory is fogged by being distracted by the calling of the gold coin, and Tim remembers the feeling of reaching into a puddle of warm blood and pulling out a blood covered coin, and that really fills his mind when he tries to remember that instance. Mary had the advantage of being a spectator and being on horseback because Art was like late to this whole thing. He was like running behind you guys. He literally didn't see a lot of this stuff. So Mary thinks back and remembers the body, which you guys only saw on your way in because it was gone by the time you came out. Uh, and she remembers that it looks like it had died a painful death and that you guys had made the assumption that he died in combat with a goblin because there were arrows sticking out of him. But now that you think about it, he may have been bent awkwardly also.
Mary's gonna go, oh no. And she's gonna look at the snooty guy and it's just kind of be like, he had arrows and stuff sticking out of him, but parts of his body were bending in ways that didn't look normal. And can Mary kind of like demonstrate what it looked like? Like, like twist her arm in a way, like to kind of try to show him what she means?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously it's not comfortable and you can't do it completely, but you definitely get your point across that way for sure. And Tim, as she says this, it jogs the memory in you, and you're like, yeah, you know what? She's right. He was bent up kind of weird.
Yeah.
He says, I see.
It's like we
Go.
no, he was the one other person we saw at the logging camp aside from Lizard Boy. I forget his name.
He says,
Jock or something?
Jocks,
Jock.
a friend of the guild, I will remind you. And
Don't-
looks
yeah.
very sternly at Mary.
And she's gonna go, I get it, no threats.
Aside from Jox, he's the only other person we saw, and he wasn't alive when we found him. But we saw him. Looked like he'd been running away from the camp. We just assumed he'd gotten hit by arrows, and that was it. But now that she's saying it, yeah, he was bent really awkwardly.
The elf takes his spectacles off of his face, folds them up, and like tucks them away in the like sleeve pocket of his robe. Purses his lips and says, I see. And he looks at the amulet and says, and this, what role does this play?
If we were to take a best guess, like from what we saw, the person who is having to be transformed has to wear it inside of the rune to kind of like start the process. And then because this was on Brogan's body and he was in the rune with it on, and that's when he started to transform, when all the blood started pooling at him.
Does it only work on goblins, do you know?
That we do not. We could ask Charez.
He says, we have a working relationship with Charez and will inquire ourselves. He says, but as far as I can tell, and he tucks the amulet away, as well as the drawings of the cult site, the ceremony site. Says, but as far as I can determine, you have made good on your agreement. And he says, I will return momentarily. And he gets up and disappears, and the other three like make a show of going back to their work. Like if you guys take a minute to look closely, you could tell they're probably not actually getting anything done. All of them are keeping one eyeball on you guys while the half elf is gone, but they are at least pretending to work and not like just blatantly staring at you. What are you guys going to do during the 3 or so minutes that you're standing in front of the table here?
Him is keeping an eye and making sure no funny business is happening.
Same for Mary, I guess. She's just kind of chilling.
Art is super following your guys' example, and the half elf reappears with Corbin, who sees you guys like, just like breaks out into a dead ass sprint, runs straight towards you. Tim is the one who is standing physically closest to him, and he just like falls on him, giving him a hug, almost like toppling him over.
Tim's definitely like taking a step back from that because it kind of just happened all of a sudden, but he's definitely returning that hug.
Corbin's like, I missed you guys, and he like reaches the other arm out and like loops it around Art and kind of like gives you guys both a hug with the one arm, and then like sees Mary and like lets you guys go and like drops to his knees and just like full bear hugs Mary.
Missed you too, buddy.
And you guys look up, and the half elf is holding your contract and says, consider your contract fulfilled. And he takes it and he tears it in half, and you guys watch as like sparks come off of this sheet as he tears it in half and fly off in like iridescent rainbow colors. And as soon as the sheet is torn in half, like the whole thing like crumbles to ash, and you're just kind of like blows and like brushes it off of the desk, and it all just kind of like settles on the ground around him. And you all feel deep inside your persons a release, a binding no longer present. You feel the agency of your own life return to you. And he pulls out as well the journal and the ring, and sets the ring on top of the journal and slides the whole thing across the table towards you guys.
Mary's grabbing that ring.
Yeah, and Tim's getting his journal.
And the half elf says, "A pleasure." And the orc, and he looks down at his work, and the orc like picks up from there, and he says, well, I know that it was not on the greatest terms to start with, but we do appreciate any partner who is able to complete business successfully with us. He says, please let us know if there's anything you'd like to commission from us. A building, a boat, any wooden creation you can dream of. The guild can provide for you, assuming that you have the coin.
And
Coin.
Tim is going to, he's going to mention, like, I'll keep that in mind.
This is, of course.
And, yeah. This is Tony Stark will return in Avengers Endgame situation for him here.
Is there anything else you guys would like to say to the Woodsman's Guild while you're here in their chambers?
Oh, speaking of Jacques, has he come back to town by chance? Not for nefarious deeds.
I have not seen him since you threatened his life. He told me he was going to see a friend, Theo Willowbrow, on the edges of town. But I'm sure that you would not bother a friend of the guild after having such a productive business relationship created between us.
No, but he does have the horse, which, I'm at least going to try to get for the little boy. You can't blame me for trying for the kid.
And the orc like rolls his eyes and says, "The damn horse." He says, "That's not our business.
Mhm.
If there's anything of wood you need, we'll be here. Otherwise, a good day to you." And he picks up his work and starts ignoring you promptly.
Yeah, and with that, Tim's probably gonna start heading out.
Same for Mary.
And Art follows you
We'll be
guys.
talking to Corbin though. Like she's gonna be like, "So how'd they treat you?"
And Corbin says, "You know, the food's actually pretty good." He's like, "I don't know if they use if spices other than pepper." And he like looks over not cautiously at Tim. He's like, "But it was good. They treated me fine. I slept in the basement, but not in the jail cell. It's kind of cold down there, but you know, I like learned how to work with some of their tools. That was fun."
Oh, well, I'm assuming we're outside the building now.
Yeah, you guys are like in
Okay.
the
Mary's-
common square.
Mary's gonna look at like Corbin and be like, "Well, we got really good news."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, you can't react. It's a money thing."
Oh, you found some money? He says way louder than he
Let's
should.
Yeah, we
let's
found,
start
like, a
walking.
couple
Let's
pennies.
start walking. Let's not just stand outside in the town center.
Okay. So where'd you find your money? At the goblin place?
Mary, it's probably better we wait till we're outside of town to continue this conversation.
Oh. Oh, I see. Okay.
I guess once we're outside of town, Mary was just gonna tell him about the gems.
Are you going to tell him or are you going to show him?
Or well, she was gonna show him, yeah.
Corbin absolutely loses his fucking mind. Like a kid in a candy store, like if you told a kid that Santa Claus isn't real and then he woke up the next day, got on the Polar Express and met Santa. Like that is the level of happiness that this one-armed scrawny ass half-elf is showing right now. Like literally jumping for joy. He's like picking up coins and like letting them run through his fingers. He's like looking at gemstones.
Mary's gonna be like, "Tim says, and the gems are gonna be like 10,000 gold if we can go to Port Sockets and sell them."
He's like, wow. He's like, there's got to be more. He's like, there's got to be 10,000 gold here, right?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could buy your contract easily.
Well, we'd have to sail back across the sea for that, and I don't want to do that.
No, but if we could just go to Port Sockets, and Tim could probably go to the college and something and figure out a overseas sale, as in like a purchase from different continents.
I mean, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. We'll take care of it.
This is and like after basically hyperventilating for a few minutes, he's like, this is a lot of money, guys.
Yeah, and then we have to split it with one other guy who helped us out because we had to hire someone. But like after we split it with him, we get your contract situated, we can go back to the gnome village.
Corbin's like, that sounds really nice. I missed you guys a lot, and I'm really glad that none of you died.
Thank you. We're glad you weren't imprisoned.
I mean, I kind of was. They didn't let me leave the building, but they didn't lock me in a cell either.
Yeah, that's what I mean more of. That they didn't lock you in a cell.
Yeah, I'm glad too. And he you see him pat his like gold pouch that I think at most had 80 gold pieces in it at one point, and he's just patting it, looking at the rest of the pile. He's just like, I still have some gold too.
Good. More gold, the better.
Cool. So, what's next, guys?
Well, she's gonna look at Tim and be like, are you down to go with us to Port Sarkis?
I was planning on heading down there anyway, but I need get some. I need to get some correspondence sent out first, and then I can, start making my way down there too.
Okay. So I guess we can go find Titus, go to Charas, and then you can get that situated.
Mm-hmm.
We did it!
Yeah. Oof.
And I think this is as good a spot as any to actually officially end the session. So we'll start next session with you guys like coming back to the woods outside of Charles's tower, like introducing Corbin and Titus. We'll kind of like backpedal a little bit and have you guys show Corbin all this money so that I can portray to Titus and Jeremy the way that like how Corbin's personality is because he's never met him before. Um, and then we'll just kind of pick up from that point with you guys being done with your blood contract, having an absolute metric fuck ton of money, and you guys can take the next week to decide what you want to do with it and how you want to proceed.
I think that's gonna make things a lot easier for Tim. So
Yeah, I know, like, just gonna be honest, like, on my plan for Mary, if Tim's down, is because I know we're going to try to retire these characters to bring in the 2 backups that have been created for the campaign. And with that in mind, I think once Tim gets the letter out, the gold is splitted between Mary, Titus, Tim, and Art. I kind of imagine just like Mary and Titus, or not Mary and Titus, Mary, Corbin, and Tim going to Port Sarkis, and then if Art wants to come along, he can come along.
figure that's the point where it gets retired, and it's like we're switching new characters, and it's like then it's like, okay, do you guys want to do this or that? And it's like, oh, cool, and it's done in the background.
Yeah, but that would be like a big overarching plan, at least for Mary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you guys, and like I've told you guys before, once you retire a character, they're tied to the progression of time that your current played characters progress through time. So you can tell me like what you want them to do, but if it's gonna take them, a week or 2 weeks or a month to get from here to Port Sarkis, then as you guys are playing the game, you basically won't have any input for these retired characters until that much time in game has passed, and then I'll check in with you and be like, okay, you're now at Port Sarkis. What's the next thing you want to do? And it'll be just kind of a background thing that we do here. But you guys need to just let me know when you want to retire those characters and let me know when you want to bring in the new characters, because I need to have at least a little time figuring out your backstories and how I'm going to. We can just wave the DM's hand and say, and new party members arrive, and make you guys a party, but I always would rather kind of write a story reason into it.
Yeah.
So
Want us to write our little page like we did when Mary and Tim got brought in?
yeah, if you guys just write a little backstory on it, and I know that you guys have kind of an idea of how you'd like your characters to be introduced already, because we've talked about that a little bit. So if you just remind me of that and put it in writing, I will integrate as much as possible into your introductions. Just know that I, as the DM, reserve the right to take the final storytelling license to make it all work for you. But also know that in good faith, I will integrate as many of the elements as you put in as possible. And then we'll get you guys situated with your new characters whenever you're ready for it, and take it from there. Becky's going to bed. She said it's always a great time. See us next session. Becky, we are excited to see you next session. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. We love you a lot, and sleep well. You've earned your title of not grandma tonight because it's almost midnight your time and you're still here. So I am thoroughly impressed. Cool. And then as far as you guys go, we can just pick this up next week. Let me see here. That'll be the 6th. and we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to go end stream. If you guys still want to chat, I'll be around. Just give me a second to go drop stream. I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay, well, I believe Becky was our only viewer, which means we are not quite in raid territory. But I want to let everybody know out there who might be watching this after the fact that you're wonderful. Thank you for being here, and I will catch you on Wednesdays and Fridays for more D&D. Oh, Becky, you're still here. Much love. Catch you next week. Later.